Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Indosim Esports Network here on a Friday night, your home of the stock car and supercar racing on a Friday and Sunday night. Tonight, we are back and we are going stock car racing on a Friday night at Talladega Motor Speedway here. Joining me in the booth is Paul Jackson. Paul, how are you tonight, mate?
Oh, I'm doing well as always. It's good. It's a Friday and the week's over and the weekend's here.
Yeah, I definitely second that one. And it brings us to Talladega Super Speedway tonight, second round of the Full Throttle Friday Night NASCAR Next Gen Series. We saw a great showing last week, and Andy Barber got the spoils for round one. But we go into our second Super Speedway 2 weeks in a row. After what we saw last week, it's anyone's. Any calls on who you think's going to be playing in the top three positions tonight, Paul?
Well, as we discussed before we went live, but there's been a bit of a spanner thrown in the works again, and I'm definitely changing my picks now because
You can't do that. I know exactly who you're talking about. You can't do that. It's not allowed.
yeah, we had some late joiners here with JCW and Steve Williams joining the field tonight, and Matty Hunter as well. So the picks have all changed now, eh? But who we did say earlier, my top three picks were Darren McKenzie. And oh god, I'm having a mental blank now. I can't remember me three picks.
It's thrown you out with all the extra drivers coming in, mate. But
yeah, it has,
we definitely between the two of us, between the two of us, we had Mackenzie, Malone, Pritchard, Andy Barber, Tristan Koch, and also the little bit of a darkie Derek Jacobs, who come fourth in round one, who's currently 17th with a 49.71 in practice. So all those usual names from now. JC Dubs up there and Stevie Dubs up there as well. So it's anyone's tonight, mate. We've got over 30 cars by the looks of it here at Talladega. So excited to call these 94 laps around this 4.281 kilometre Super Speedway, mate. We're going to see a little bit of three-lane action, I'd suggest.
Oh, here's hoping. With we've got exactly 30 cars, so we'll have to see how these boys go and if they're going to make it three wide or if they're going to stick to the two lanes.
Yeah, the thing I've found, Paul, with these, I've done a little bit in the next gens in other series recently, just trying to get used to it for next season. And what I've found a lot on the super speedways, and it might be my driving, correct me if I'm wrong, everyone out on the socials, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, everything, put your comments in there and tell me how stupid I am. But if you try and get that run on the outside in these next gen cars, the way they've updated them recently, unless you have 4 or 5 guys to go with you, you really just got to sit in that lane. So we saw just before in practice, they were trying to create that second lane, and as soon as they did that, they just dropped off. So I may be made to look like a fool later on the broadcast, Paul, but that's just what my feeling is of the car at the moment. But I know as we move into 2022 and next gen being the prevalent thing in stock car racing around the world, I know that iRacing will do a lot of updates and everything to make it a lot different to what it is now. But super fun car to drive, mates, and looking forward to 94 laps around Talladega tonight.
Yeah, well, I haven't actually driven the next gen car yet, although I have finally bought a next gen car, and I just haven't taken it to the track yet. So it will be good when I get a chance to have a run in one of them.
Yeah, they definitely are fun, mate. But before we move on, we'll just give the viewers a little bit of information about Talladega Super Speedway. We'll let these guys finish off their practice at the moment, and Paul will just let you watch them as they go around. We do have Darren McKenzie on the top at the moment with a 48.87, but quickly go through a little bit about Talladega Super Speedway. So it is nicknamed Dega, as we all know, everyone from the stock car world. It is Dega, and it's always familiar for the big one. So you're always going to have that one big one, 99.9% out of 100. Hopefully we don't get that one tonight, Paul, but around this track, it can definitely happen, and happen very, very easily. It was actually formerly named Atlanta International Motor Speedway. There's a little bit of knowledge for you there, Paul, that you may or may not want to know. So don't know why it was called that, considering where it is, but that is what they called it. It is based in Alabama, USA, out of the state of Alabama, USA, in Talladega. It is a 2.66 mile in the American sense or 4.281 kilometres in the Australasian. It opened on the 13th of September in 1969 at a cost of $4 million US. So I don't know about you, Paul, but I reckon that's money well spent with the racing this track's given us across the years.
Yeah, I think they definitely would have earned that back by now. The amount of publicity and that would have gone on, and spectators and races amongst them, and the big motion picture there as well, Talladega Nights. So we can't forget the old shake and bake with Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, well, hopefully you don't have Shorey or Mackenzie or someone running down the straight in their underwear saying they're on fire tonight. Hopefully that's not going to happen. But back to a few stats here, Paul. Talladega Super Speedway, as we all know, everyone involved in the stock car world, whether it be next gen or the current cars that they're running this year, it is definitely a thing of chance, definitely a thing of luck to an extent. Everyone would say that. They're always waiting on the big one. But get this for a little bit of trivia. The most wins at Talladega is Dale Earnhardt with 10. 10 wins at Talladega. He's got the most laps led. He's got the most top 5s and 10s. But the more important one, which I was watching, the average start best of any driver of all time at Talladega is Davey Allison at a 5.3. And the best average finish is Dale Earnhardt at a 2.4. But the most poles, as we're going into qualifying now, ladies and gentlemen, the most poles by anyone around Talladega Super Speedway is Bill Elliott with 8. So that just goes to show on those stats, it doesn't matter where you start or all that type of stuff. You can finish anywhere here at Talladega, Paul. But I'll let you take over as I've just given them a little bit of technical knowledge, and we'll watch the first couple of cars come out and set their qualifying laps.
No worries. We just got Norman Clark, the first one out of the pits here. As we jump on air, we might just jump on board for a lap around with Norman as he sets his time.
No worries, ladies and gentlemen. You just heard it from Paul. We'll jump on with Norman Clark, the 09 out of New Zealand. We'll jump on and watch his qualifying laps. Here are 2 smoking laps of Talladega Super Speedway, brought to you by Norman Clark and everyone here at the InterSim Esports Network.
We've seen Norman jump to P1 there on his first lap out, and sure he's just jumped into one now. But Norman, as he went around taking the high line round for his first lap, just to get a bit of heat in and speed up the car, and that as he dropped low over the start line to commence his second lap.
Yeah, definitely, Paul. I was watching that as well, as we see on board now watching Tristan Koch in the 550 car. But yeah, Norman Clark definitely took the high line trying to get that momentum. So let's see what he can bring as he pulls it across the line shortly. But Daniel Smith just goes to the top with a 51.73 on board here with Tristan Koch. We'll see what he'll pull as he comes across the line. Dimitri Agasos up into third with a 51.77. Tristan Koch at the moment, he's gone through. He must just be starting. There he is. He's come up into P11, so 51.91. So currently, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2,000ths of a second between first and fourth. Norman Clark's just gone up into P5 with a 51.79. Daniel Smith has consolidated at the top there with a 51.73. Daniel Beckinsale out of second with a 51.75. It is all happening at the top at the moment as we're on board with the 24 car at the moment, as he is about to set his lap here at Talladega Super Speedway. We're on board with Lachlan at the moment. We'll see how he goes. I'm just trying to find his sectors at the moment. I do apologise. Lachlan Hewitt, he's currently in P20, sitting there with a 52.15, so he needs to get another half a second out of it to be sitting up there to even be able to start in those first couple of rows. Look like he's gone a little bit high there out of the exit. So this is definitely probably not going to be top for Lachlan, but will he make an advance on his position?
And Tom Pritchard just jumped to P2 there. On his,
he did.
lap.
Tommy Pritchard. He's a 51.74. Daniel Smith still holding fast at the top there with a 51.73. It looks like that's the way our grid's going to play out, ladies and gentlemen, here on a Friday night of the Indosim Esports Network for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series on a Friday night. Looking forward to this one, Paul. I know Tommy Pritchard's about to finish his final lap now. He's currently in second. We'll just wait and see whether he can pip Daniel Smith for the top to bring the second round of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series to green. Doesn't look like he was able to do that one, Paul, at the moment. No, 51.79. So looks like that's our grid, Paul, at the moment for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series on a Friday night.
Yeah, and we'll bring up the qualifying there. So if you want to run through those, Aiden.
Definitely, mate. So Daniel Smith with a great job putting the car 313 with a 51.727 off pole. Tom Pritchard, who had a great job the other night in a super speedway race out of P2 outside the first row. Daniel Beckinsale and Ray Zerkott on the second row. Dimitri Agathos, Darren McKenzie, third row. Jeffrey Ford, Norman Clark, fourth row. Tony Veselis, Michael Budge, fifth row. Dave Oliver and Tim Weston making up the top 12.
And over the page there in P13, we've got Andy Barber alongside the American of Derek Jacobs there. And Derek's actually joined with there's 4 US drivers on the grid tonight from 2 last week. So in P15 we've got Adam Malone and JCW, Joshua Carroll Walden in P16. Sean Stamper and Neil McKenzie in P17 and 18. Brian Bullock, Damon May rounding out your top 20. Michael Shaw in P21 alongside Tristan Koch. And Steve Williams and Lachlan Hewitt in P23 and 24 there.
And as we roll over the page, we'll see Graham Ellis and Matty Hunter taking up P25, 26. P27, Dean Guilfoyle. I can never pronounce that properly. My apologies, Dean. 28th, Jason Holdsworth. 29th is Shane Newens. And rounding out the field is the runner of the league, or the person who has set up this league, Steve Hoppett out of P30 in the 131 car.
And I'm not sure if you actually caught that on the qualifying times there, but Darren McKenzie and Jeffrey Ford set exactly the same times there.
That doesn't surprise me at all, Paul. Talladega, that's exactly what it does. I think we saw a tenth of a second probably between nearly the top 20 there. So I know that we saw JCW, which was late teens at the moment. He's probably mid to late teens. He was only a tenth off pole. So definitely very close racing, and that's without a draft. So you wait till these guys start getting in a draft. But like I said earlier, Paul, what I'm more interested to see whether that second or third lane can actually try and compete on the outside, or whether it's going to be one lane on the inside and we're going to have 99 laps of just racing around behind each other before they go at the back end of the race. So that's what I'm more interested to see. What are you interested to see about the race, mate, after seeing round one?
Well, at Daytona for round one, we did see that even that third line come into play a little bit, and you could see one or two drivers actually get quite a good slingshot on their own coming around that third line to drop in front of the second line, then get a big push as well to drop into the front of the inside line. So be interesting to see if anyone pulls that off tonight. But who's going to shake and bake tonight?
Yeah, I reckon one of these guys down the back are a little bit of a dark horse. I know people go, I'm down the back, but this is super speedway. They'll play smart. They'll make their pit strategy smart. They'll find someone to play with. So don't be afraid if someone mid-track, midfield rather, or down the pack comes up and is a player at the end of these 100 laps. But at the moment, it's Daniel Smith leading us to the pole with Tom Pritchard on the outside of the second row. Daniel Beckinsale inside behind Daniel Smith and Ray Zerkut in the outside of the second row, Paul. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel Smith brings us to the line for round 2 of the Next Gen Full Throttle Cup Series here from Talladega Motor Speedway, or Talladega Super Speedway rather. Daniel Smith brings us to the green. It is a really, really long ride to green. They cannot go before the green flag. So here we go. We'll wait on Daniel Smith. Wait for those green lights to come up. We are 3, 2, 1... and a little bit longer because it's a very long straight, but 3-1-3, Daniel Smith gets a great jump there. We are green for the Full Throttle Friday night Next Gen Cup Series here at Talladega Super Speedway for round 2, brought to you here on the Intersim Esports Network. But we see currently Tom Pritchard trying to make a nice drive up around the outside. Daniel Smith is saying, no, thank you. I'm going to stay on the inside and I am going to position my car here and I'm just going to sit here. We have Ray right behind him, sitting right behind Daniel at the moment. Looks like Tom's getting a great push there on the outside by Daniel Beckinsale. So is Tom going to drop down the inside line, or is he happy to work with Beckinsale at the moment? Looks like he's gone, no, I'm going to lead from the front, Paul.
Yeah, he definitely wants to lead that very first golden lap there, secure that bonus point for lap 1 of the 100 laps here at Talladega.
Yeah, it's been a great start by everyone, though. Nice and clean. We haven't had an incident yet. We're only 1 lap through. It looks like they're all settling into single file at the moment. There's been no real movers or shakers, although Tim Weston's going down 4 spots now out of P12 up down into P16. Looks like he's going down even further at the moment, so he must be getting swamped at the moment. But there's no real big movers or shakers. Tim Weston's just gone down another one into P17, P18. He's going backwards at 1,000,000 miles an hour, starting up really just outside that top 10. But anyway, back to the front. Tom Pritchard doing a great job there, holding off Daniel Smith at the moment there in the 3-1-3 in second. Daniel Beckinsale in fourth. Demetrius Agathos doing a great job, just up that 1 spot at the moment into P4. And Jeffrey Ford with a really, really good start up into P5, up 2 positions. And Norman Clark and Tony Vessels in 6th and 7th, respectively, up 2 spots as well. So a couple of guys are trying to move up a little bit early. Other guys are just trying to sit there at the moment. So it's like a game of chess at the moment. They're just all trying to get themselves into position at the moment. Paul, as we saw, that might have been Tristan nearly getting up into the outside. No, it wasn't. It was the 668. Who was the 668? That was Dave Oliver. So he nearly got up into the 23 car there of Tony Vesselis, which could have been a really, really big accident. But good job by everyone. They just want to settle in, like I said, playing a little bit of chess at the moment and trying to get into a position, because you can't let the cars get away on the front. And the guys are doing a great job so far, mate.
Yeah, it looks like Tony was really hanging out to drop back into that inside line there as he dropped back a few spots there after he was out on his own there on the outside. So he really needed to tuck back in, as he's done. And
JCW, you got to look at him. He's up 5 spots as well. He's now just pushed inside the top 10, JCW. So he's now up 6 spots out of the 16th starting position. But Adam Malone's, it looks like he's settled in with his friend Adam at the moment, and they're pushing their way to the front. But these guys are settling down at the moment. Pritchard's doing a great job at the front. I would like to be where Tom Pritchard is at the moment, Paul. I know you would too, because it's a lot safer place to be, but at the same time, you are the pioneer and you are using all your fuel and everything at the front there as well. So there comes to a point, if there are gaps and you have like a 4, 5, 6 car run and you get a gap, maybe it might be worth dropping to the back for 5 or 10 laps just to try and save some fuel. What do you think?
Yeah, if you've led a few laps here, you've got your bonus points. You definitely want to drop back a few spots there. You don't need to lead the whole race, start to finish. You want to make sure you've got that good pit stop strategy in place for that last pit stop.
And how good are those images, Paul, here on the IndySim Esports Network? Look at that for a freight train around Talladega. There's only 2 or 3 cars off the back. Apart from that, they are sending it. JCW up the inside there of, Adam Malone. Looked like they nearly got into each other there. Who's that in front in the 15? I believe that was the 15 car. I'm not sure. It looks like Andy Barber's car.
Yeah, 05 there. That's Andy
yeah,
Barber,
05
there.
Andy Barber. So Andy Barber coming off a win in round 1. He'll be pumped up to try and get a nice result tonight here at round 2 at Talladega Super Speedway. Down Daytona winner and Talladega winner in round 1 and 2. That wouldn't be a bad start to the season for Andy, would it, Paul?
No, back-to-back wins at Super Speedways. You can't complain with that one.
Let's go back and have a look at some of the Americans' ventures tonight, mate. So currently, if we look at the first one, I believe...
How you doing there, homeboy?
We've got a caution there. That's just come out just behind this pack. So Tristan Koch was involved in that. We'll just go back and see what happened here.
Oh, no. Tristo, one of my picks. Oh, he's got loose up into the 21. 21, nowhere to go. Oh, Tristan. Big incident for Tristan. He wouldn't be happy with that.
I think there might have actually been something a little bit further up the track as well that happened there as well. Just to take a look there.
Yeah, we'll just go back having a quick look before we have a chat to Tristan. Not sure if that happened before or after the caution there, Paul.
Yeah, caution was already out. It was just after he was on the grass there. And just clipped the grass and sent him up to the wall there for Graham Ellis.
Oh, that's very unfortunate for him. But ladies and gentlemen, we do have Tristan Koch up in the booth. Tristan, you got a copy?
Yes, I have. How are we?
Mate, sensational. Probably a little bit better than you right now. I did bank you for a top 3 spot tonight, so I did put the commentator's curse on you. My apologies. But, mate, you're in the middle lane there. It looked like you got a little bit loose and just come up into the car outside. What do you feel from inside the car, mate?
Pardon the French, sweet FA. I thought I got a bit of a touch from Graham. I'm not quite sure. I was behind Derek, I think, and we were flying. And don't know what happened. I think I just got a touch in the right rear, and that was it.
And did you think, like, as that race was progressing, I know we're only 6 laps in, but did you think it was pretty much one lane, or you thought you could do 2 lanes and make some positions up?
Oh, definitely 2 lanes, make some positions up. Well, look, when you're on the outside lane, you just hug the wall.
So that's your tip, hug the wall on the outside lane.
Yeah, hug the wall, and then if you get past, you can move back in, down on the inside. You know,
so,
bit of common sense, I reckon.
How are you going for damage, mate? Are you going to be able to get back out there?
I could use some fast repair. I got 6 minutes.
Well, it might be worth using your fast repair, but we're not to tell you what to do. But ladies and gentlemen, there's Tristan Koch. Thank you, Tristan, mate, for making yourself available here on the IndySim Esports Network. Unfortunate night so far. Hopefully you can use that fast repair, get out there, and hopefully we're talking to you on the podium at the end.
Oh, mate, thank you.
No worries. There we go, Paul. Tristan Koch, lap 8 into 100 here on the IndySim Esports Network on a Friday night for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series. Mate, we didn't think we'd get a caution that early. It looked like they were going green for quite a long time, but we've got one about 6 to 8 laps in.
Yeah, well, I've got to say, it's actually been quite tame so far, the race, compared to what we usually see in Cup cars, and quite a lot of bump drafting and bumper to bumper and too wide racing. All the guys have seemed to opt to go to the one lane quite early here.
Yeah, they definitely have. I'll just let you go on with that at the moment, because I just need to do something on these race channels. So I will. I'll be back in 1 second, mate.
You're right there, and our top three currently, we've got Tom Pritchard in P1 leading the field, Daniel Smith in P2, and Daniel Beckinsale in P3. P4, Demetrius Agathos, who's up one spot there, and Jeffrey Ford, the first of our US drivers, up 2 spots to round out our top 5 there.
Yeah, great job by Jeffrey, but I look back as well. P13, Lachlan Hewitt up 11 spots on his starting position. Talladega's not one that you need to take tyres on generally as well, or generally, is that a word? Did I just make up a new word? Looks like I did. Generally. So he's had a great job to now be in he's actually now relatives gone, he's in P14, but he's up 10 spots on his starting position. So great job there by Lachlan, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. Just sitting there buying his time, and obviously, as we say, buying his ticket to those final few laps.
Yeah, I still agree. Like you're making a little bit of a reference before, Paul, to the Americans, and I did say this in the pre-race show, even though we don't broadcast it, we have a little bit of a chat, and I wasn't writing off the likes of Derek Jacobs, Sean Stamper, Jeffrey Ford, the American guys. These guys usually don't do a lot of fixed stuff. They do a lot of open stuff back in the States. So for them to be up at stupid o'clock in the morning to be able to run this league is amazing. So thank you to all those guys from America jumping across and supporting the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series. I know it's early on a Thursday morning for you guys. So thank you so much. But they're definitely ones to watch out for as this race evolves over the long period of time, especially if we go green for a long period of time. Their strategy, and they're definitely going to work together, Paul.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure they're all sitting in Discord there together, having a bit of a chat there and working out their strategy for the next pit stop, if we see that go green to the next pit stop.
Which hopefully we do, mate. Hopefully we do. Fingers crossed. But we have Tom Pritchard at the moment bringing the field to green. Daniel Smith, who started off pole outside the first row. Daniel Beckinsale and Demetrius Agathos following them on the second row. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is the second start of the race here at Talladega Superspeedway on a Friday night in the Sim Esports Network Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series. And we are green with Tom Pritchard getting a great jump at the front. Rather, Daniel Smith was a little bit slow to react there as Daniel Beckinsale has just taken up in behind Tom Pritchard. So Daniel Smith a little bit slow off the blocks there, as they say in swimming, but it's a really good position for him to be at the moment, just sitting there right in behind the 19 car. We do have a fuel burn of approximately around about the 34 laps, I believe, Paul. So we're still another 24 laps off seeing these leaders pit, but a lot of the guys involved up in that stuff earlier have pitted, so that's going to give them an extra 10 laps in fuel. So what we're going to see if this does go green is 2 separate little battle packs, if I must say, you know, especially with the different pit strategies and everything, we're going to see 2 different battle packs. So definitely going to keep you busy, definitely going to keep me busy as a commentator as well, mate. So looking forward to this one. But Tom Pritchard, what a start. He couldn't ask for any more.
Yeah, well, it actually looks like we've already got 2 little packs here already forming. So back down here in P23, we've actually got Dave Oliver leading that pack up with Steve Williams behind him. Only about 2 seconds behind here, but they need to work together to try and catch up back to this front pack here.
Yeah, it depends how much this front pack wants to work together. It looks like these guys got left behind a little bit on the start trying to catch up to the pace car, so they're going to be doing everything they can to work together to catch this front group, but at the moment it looks like the front group is working together. There is that high line trying to work around the outside at the moment that you can see there, but not sure that's going to help them. It's going to help Dave Oliver and the 4 guys behind them really pull up on the back of this front group, and we're probably going to see that in the next 2 or 3 laps. And when they do that, then we are nose to tail for the entire field again, Paul.
Yeah, for sure. And Stevie Williams is definitely one to push from behind here. So Dave's got a good little helper there behind him to help them catch back up.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better pusher there in Stevie Dub. He'll definitely do the job. Thing with these cars as opposed to the current Cup cars, the overheating doesn't seem that prevalent. So he'll be able to push as hard as he can to be able to get up onto the back of these guys. But we've had a change for the front at the moment. Daniel Smith has taken the lead over Tom Pritchard and Demetrius Agathos at the moment. So great job by Daniel. He got a little bit impatient there sitting behind them. He was sitting there in third. He goes, nah, I'm going to come lead from the front. You're going to follow me or you're going to pass me. So great job there by Daniel. Demetrius is following him around. They're going to drop right down in front of Tom Pritchard and Jeffrey Ford at the moment. And there's your 1, 2 and 3 at Talladega, mate. It's switched up again.
Yeah, definitely that outside line working well there. They had about 6 cars there, 6, 7 cars, and obviously Daniel and Demetrius working together there. Daniel towing Demetrius in with him to slot into P2.
Yeah, and if you go back to Dave Oliver, guess which train has caught up to the back of the pack? So they were 2.5 seconds behind. It looks like these guys have got onto the back of the pack. What I'm looking at it relative at the moment, they're very, very close. They don't want it. There they are. They're just tagging onto the back of the pack at the moment. Stephen Williams pushing very hard there. I believe that is Stevie Dub. It is in the 98. Pushing very hard there on it. Dave Oliver on the outside, trying to just get up onto the back of them at the moment. Shane Newlands, he's up 7 spots on his starting position, but I'm sure these guys are thinking he's being a little bit of a nuisance on the inside there at the moment. These guys need to tuck in behind each other and try and work together to get up, because those 2 guys behind them are going to catch up on them as well. So if they start battling now, they're going to lose the train on that front pack, but we will see how that happens. Looking at the relative at the moment, they've only got a couple of tenths to catch, but on Super Speedway, Paul, that is a long way.
Yeah, for sure, and depends on how nice everyone wants to play at the back of that pack as well. If they want to, you know, drop back a little bit to help these guys have a little bit of a toe to catch up as well. If they've got teammates up in that bigger pack, if they drop back to drag everyone up as well.
Yeah, you make a really good point. That's going to be interesting, but knowing these cars around here, around super speedways, it's a very big risk to drop that far back. The way that we're looking at the moment with teammates around them, and it's really hard because a lot of these guys haven't allocated their teams. A lot of them are talking in Discord together, so a little bit hard. But looking at it, for people to drop back, it's a long way to come back, I believe, in these cars. So I think these guys at the moment are just going to be jockeying for position and seeing, okay, who's going to work with me? Excuse me. Excuse me, that was terrible. But they're not going to be sure on who's going to work with them. So they're just going to be going around at the moment, just feeling it out, playing a bit of game of chess, seeing where they're going to be. But at the moment, the guys at the front are showing a clean set of heels. These guys here, Michael Shaw in 18th, Derek Jacobs is there as well, I believe. Sean Stamper from the United States as well, Matty Hunter. These guys are going to really want to work together now to try and pull back that gap on the guys in front. You really just want to be up there for this pit stop, don't you, Paul? You don't want to give away anything, because especially if you're not 100% confident through your pit stop, you can lose a lot on entry, you can lose a lot on exit, you can miss your pit stall, you can do all those type of things. So you want to try and keep as close to the pack as you can, because when you come out under green, you're going to want to find that buddy to be able to get that toe. Otherwise, you're going to lose a lot of ground on the field.
Yeah, for sure. And as well, if your team is scattered throughout the field there, then you want to try and time it so you can all regroup as well.
Yeah, most definitely. But that's a little bit hard for me to commentate on at the moment, because knowing who's in what team, I do see who's up in Discord at the moment, but none of them run the same livery. So can be a little bit tricky, but we'll get there as we move on to the mid to end of the broadcast. But Paul, 17 laps into 100 in the next 15 laps, we're going to see someone start blinking at the moment and coming into pit lane. But Andy Barber, mate, up 7 positions into P6, winner of round 1 at Daytona. Doing a great job, loves the super speedways.
Yeah, and I have to agree there. I love the super speedways myself. Just flat out, foot to the floor and off you go, and don't leave anything on the table. Use all the draft, use all the tyre, as much momentum as you can get around here, and try and take advantage of that.
That's all you can do. But like you said previously in this broadcast, mate, it's all about giving yourself a ticket into that last fuel stop. So we're not even into the first one at the moment. They've got another green flag to do under this if it does go green after their first one, and then we'll see who is going to fight the men from the boys, as they say. In saying that, though, I'd love to see some ladies in this league, some people to jump in and ruffle up these boys' feathers. That'd be really good to see. So I know there's a lot of ladies iRacing leagues out there, so anyone that does watch this broadcast, jump on, get involved in the Full Throttle Friday night Next Gen Cup Series. Any ladies out there that race, I know there's a lot of great races from the real world and in iRacing that do it. So jump on and get amongst it and keep these boys honest, as we are 19 laps into 100 here at Talladega Super Speedway. But Paul, mate, that's the great thing about iRacing, isn't it? Anyone can jump in and race. You can go and buy a $500 setup. You can go buy a $10,000 setup. You can do whatever. You can go to your local EB Games or JB Hi-Fi, get a steering wheel and pedals, a TV and a computer, and off you go. You're iRacing and you're racing against some of the best around the world. So how good is that from a platform?
Yeah, definitely don't need a lot to start and go racing. Yeah, just as you said, just a basic starter kit there, and if you enjoy it, you can always upgrade down the road there. You don't need to fork a lot of money into it to get started.
Yeah, and through the iRacing community, mate, there are a lot of different leagues. So we are here on the Full Throttle Friday night Next Gen Cup Series. There are so many different things through the 4 disciplines, whether it be road, oval, as we are here tonight, the dirt oval, which is your speedway style, or your dirt road, which is like your stadium trucks and your V-dubs and all different stuff. Like, there are so many different disciplines, so many different leagues, different time slots, everything that suits into everyone's time schedule. So if anyone is watching, jump on, and if you want to be a part of iRacing, it's very easy to get into. If you do need any information, jump onto @InterSim Esports Network on Facebook and get amongst us and have a little bit of a chat to us. Be more than willing to help you out, or jump on the Full Throttle Sim Racing League's Facebook page and give them a like and a share as well, and they will be more than happy to help you out. But Paul, mate, we are now 21 laps into 100 at Talladega Super Speedway. It looks like at the moment Daniel Smith and Demetrius Agathos have sort of just sat there at the front. Looks like Pritchard is sitting there like he did the other night, just in behind leaders, waiting to pounce. He's going to wait and see what these pit stops do, I think, before he does anything. Daniel Beckinsale doing a great job up there in P4, and Norman Clark, Stormin Norman from New Zealand, up there in P5 at the moment. Andy Barber, as we call him, the Flyer, but we've now re-nicknamed him. But we'll wait for that for later in the broadcast, Paul, when we get excited. But Andy Barber is now up into P6.
Yeah, definitely got a couple of picks there. But speaking of people watching, we might have to have a shout out here. Joshy Micklemore's having a bit of a tune in here on a Friday night, and he's had to say bloody Dega.
Hey Joshy, how are you, mate? But thanks for tuning in to the InterSim Esports Network, mate. A little bit of Next Gen Cup Series action from Talladega, so I'm sure you would have loved to be in part of this, but a little bit of an insight for you for next year in the ANSCAR Cup. But also your trophy from InterSim's on its way too, man, so that'll be there soon. But thank you for tuning in. But Paul Daniel Smith doing a great job, showing a clean set of heels there at the moment at the front. Demetrius Agathos still in there behind him. Tom Pritchard, Daniel Beckinsale, Norman Clark. Those top 5 look like they've just settled in for the next 20 or 30 laps and just playing that chess card, as I've said.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things we briefly spoke about just before we went live there was some of these liveries. And on Damon May there, number 69, that livery there, the Harley Davidson motorcycles, that really caught my eye out in practice there, that one with the chrome. How good does that look?
Looks absolutely stunning. Not a fan of the green wheels, but you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the James Courtney Boost Mobile Commodore. I don't know why, probably just because of the silver, but I don't like the green wheels, but the livery is amazing. So great job to whoever's designed that one, whether it be off Trading Paints or he's designed that himself. So that looks stunning. Adam Malone in front of him in car 4 in his traditional Monster Energy. He's going to have to start getting some rights from Monster Energy, I reckon, with the amount he runs their car. So he might have to have a bit of chat to Monster Energy and see if they can throw up some monster drinks for him, I reckon.
If you're touching on that, then I might need to get a drink sponsor on my car there, and see if we can get some good drinks on board.
Well, you are the broadcaster, so you can have a sneaky plug, mate. I know you do a lot of racing outside of broadcasting and commentating with myself, so your drink sponsor, who are they?
No, I don't have one. I was just saying, might have to get someone on board. Perhaps Dan Murphy's, maybe they might give me a discount.
I was going to say, I didn't think BWS would allow you to do that, but anyway, we can try. You don't, at least if you got BWS, you wouldn't have to change the colour of your car, so there's a positive. But Daniel Smith up in P1 at the moment, looks like those top 4 or 5 are still just staying there, even Andy Barber in 6. So it's settled down at the front here, Paul, at the moment as Demetri. Oh, we're seeing the first blinkers. We're 25 laps in. We are having our first pit stop. Andy Barber, did he come in? Sorry, that wasn't Andy Barber. That was trying to catch up. Sorry, Daniel Smith. I'm sure he would have got done for speeding in pits then, not quite sure. But Tom Pritchard stayed out for another lap at the moment, with Norman Clark running there with him as well. So are these guys going to flinch and try and cover off the leaders, or are they going to go another lap? Looks like Adam Malone's still out there at the moment. Hewitt's out there at the moment as well. They are, looks like, well, they're in the back straight at the moment, so we're not going to know whether they're going to take another lap. Matty Hunter's stayed out as well.
It was very interesting there, Aiden. At lap 26 we saw that, so didn't quite reach the 34 odd lap that you'd mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so we've been led up the garden path there. It looked like then, though, we just saw Tommy Pritchard come into the pits. Norman Clark has stayed out, so it'll be interesting to see where Pritchard comes out as opposed to the guys on the relative once all this happens. JCW at the moment stayed out, and he's caught up on behind Norman Clark. So JCW's been using his fuel very nicely in this first stint by the looks of it, and he's trying to play the fuel race at the moment, because when they don't take tyres, there's not going to be a lot of big difference. It's who's going to want to work with you. So JCW's put his car in a really, really nice position up behind Norman Clark. Norman's in a really good position as well. Not sure who's working together, though, out of those front guys that pitted earlier. So we'll have to wait another couple of minutes. But what I'm finding really interesting, Paul, we got told 34 laps. 24 laps is where the first driver blinked. These guys have done an extra 3 laps.
Yeah, these guys could have made a little bit of a stop there in the caution lap. So if you actually look, Steve Williams up 20 spots, Shane Ewan's up 25 spots, Matt Hunter up 21 spots. So a few of these guys that have come through from the back there, they could have actually pitted under their caution, and that's allowed them to go that extra 5-10 odd laps more.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happened. But what's really good for Stephen Williams at the moment, up in P3, 20 positions up on his starting position, he's actually been through pit lane twice. So JCW's been up there once. Norman Clark hasn't visited yet. So it looks like Stevie Williams has put himself in a really, really good position fuel-wise. Oh, looks like we've got an incident, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have to go back and have a look at that. I'm not sure if we're under yellow.
It doesn't look like it's gone to a caution, but we'll just check out what happened here.
23 car. That was Tony Vesselis.
We'll just go back a little bit further and just see what happened as he left pit lane there.
Looks like he's got a bit loose out of pit lane, I'd suggest, mate.
Yeah, I dare say found that loud pedal and might have just looped the car there. We'll just see what happened there. So, yep. Ooh, and just tapped the wall there as well.
Very unfortunate there for Tony. Looks like he's going to do it again, maybe. Whoa. That might be a little bit of hardware malfunction, because that's really weird.
Yeah, not too sure what's going on there, but that's definitely not how you want to leave pit lane after your pit stop.
No, definitely not. But anyway, we'll wait and see how all this transitions through the pit lane. Norman Clark still leading the race at the moment. JCW right there behind him. Stevie Williams is there in third place. Matty Hunter doing a great job up 22 positions. See all these guys earlier that took a little bit extra fuel. Norman Clark has blinked now. He needs to come in. So where he's going to come out as opposed to the Daniel Beckinsales of the like, etc. Looks like Daniel had a pretty good stop because he's got over the top of a couple of guys that were in front of him. So where they come out after this pit stop for Norman's going to be very, very important to make sure he keeps the draft, because now, as we thought earlier in this race, Paul, we'd have the two groups. Not only do we have two groups, they're both on two different pit strategies now. So this is going to be interesting with 31 into 100, mate. I'm trying not to get too excited too early. I love the strategy of stock car racing.
Yeah, I think we got probably a little bit more than two groups here. We've got a few little packs scattered across the racetrack, so it's going to be hard to keep up here with who's actually going to come out on top from all these pit stops.
Yeah, we'll just let it settle down for a minute, I reckon, mate. Let's let the viewers here on InterSim Esports Network for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series, everyone tuning in, let's get them on board with the 60 car, the number 60 car. I believe it's number 60 in second place there behind JCW. That should have been Stevie Williams, but we'll. Okay. But anyway, we will jump on with the 60 car at the moment, go for a couple of minutes around Talladega Super Speedway, see what it's like right behind the car following at over 300 kilometres an hour. Paul, we'll be back in a couple of minutes. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of laps around Talladega Super Speedway here on the InterSim Esports Network for the Full Throttle Friday Night NASCAR Next Gen Cup Series. How good was that, Paul? JCW still at the front. Stevie Williams has now moved himself up into P2. Matty Hunter up 23 spots into P3, mate. Hasn't disappointed so far here at round two of the Full Throttle Friday Night NASCAR Next Gen Cup Series on the InterSim Esports Network. I don't know how you're feeling, mate, but I'm excited to see how this race pans out as we move on in through the mid to three-quarter way.
Yeah, we've already seen one caution come out, and we've seen a few drivers go for a green flag pit stop. So I'm sure a few of these guys at the front here are going to be banking on another caution soon so they can make their pit stops. Otherwise, there's going to be a fair few drivers that might get their lead lap back here as well.
Yeah, it looks like if we do go green until the end, which fingers crossed, it looks like that from Brian Bullock back in 15th, all those guys are going to get their lap back, and then Brian will take the lead of this race. So it's all going to be where these cautions fall and how their fuel strategy is playing and where they're going to be able to be at the moment. If I was a driver, I'd much rather be in JCW, Jason Williams, and Matty Hunter's. Michael Budge and Dave Oliver. Sorry, Matty Hunter. I'm just trying to catch up with the thing. So it's Michael Budge and Dave Oliver. My apologies. I'd much rather be where they are at the moment with looking at how the fuel goes. They're probably going to... They're going to have to two-stop it to the end, and I'm not sure whether the ones behind them are lapped down. They're probably going to have to two-stop at minimum as well because they've got less fuel. So, sorry, they got more fuel. So, yeah, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure whether you can go two-stop to the end. The thing that worries me, Paul, is 24 laps in we had the first pit stop. So, does that mean they can do it in 3, or can someone do it in 2? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, but JCW and Steve Williams have just made their way into pit lane as Matty Hunter did the lap before, and Matty Hunter dropping back from P3 to P9, so it'll be interesting to see where JCW and Stevie Dub comes out from their pit stops.
Yeah, depending whether Matty Hunter got a little bit of help coming out of pit lane there, it's probably going to be around about where JCW and Stevie Dub come out is where Matty Hunter will be, but we're about to see that now as we see JCW transition out of pit lane. Very important to get a really nice run out of here. Look at that train coming around the outside, so he's going to be swallowed up here on the outside as he comes out of pit lane. He's going to 6, 7, 8, 9 cars that are just leaving him with nowhere to go, so he's going to jump in behind there. But remember, Paul, and ladies and gentlemen, everyone tuning in to the IndySim Esports Network here on Facebook, Twitch or YouTube, a long way to go in this race. So here's that second pack. Adam Malone's been caught up in that second pack after being up there early. So this must be that second pack that was leading early. So doesn't look like they've made hay while the sun shines while the other guys are out in front, because that pack in front seemed to get that little bit of a gap, unless we've missed something here on the broadcast. But it's all playing out very quickly right in front of your eyes, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. And JCW slotting into the back of that pack there in P7. But Stevie Dub, unfortunately, must have had some pit lane drama there, and he's actually fallen back to P12 from the in that second pack there.
And that's so easy to do, Paul. As I said earlier in the broadcast, it comes down to transition in, transition off, whether you miss your pit lane or pit box. So many different things, especially on a super speedway. You need that friend to help you, and every mistake you make doesn't make it any easier. As we saw, something must have happened to Adam Malone, Andy Barber. Those guys were up in the top 6, and these guys went longer, and it looks like they've just worked better together over that period to be able to create that extra second and a half. But if these guys start battling on the front, you're going to see that second train, who currently is only about 3 seconds off the back at the moment, will start catching up, and they are led by Darren McKenzie there in P8. So Darren's going to want to drag them up onto the back with Andy Barber, Malone, Williams, Hunter, Bullock, Stamper, Ford. Well, sorry, Bullock's not a part of it, but those 6 or 7 guys behind them are definitely going to know how to work to drag up onto the back of this pack. But at the moment, it does look like that first pack has definitely got the speed and is making that break at the moment, as we're just about to tick over 40 laps of 100 for the second round of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series here on the IndySim Esports Network. And Paul, as we see Darren McKenzie here in the... Oh, sorry, you just changed it on me. God.
Yeah, I was a bit quick on that one.
He's a bit quick. But anyway, we're back at the front. I believe we're back at the front.
So, yeah, we've got a new P1 change here. So we've got Michael Budge in the number 8 car, is currently our race leader, with the 66 of Demetrius tucked in front of him. So something must have happened to Demetrius there as well with those pit stops, and he's gone a lap down, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunate for Demetrios. He was actually the winner of the inaugural truck series for Full Throttle this year, so truck round rather. So he's had a bit of bad luck since. He's a lap down, and he's about to go another. So Unfortunate for Demetrios at the moment, but they do have that fast repair, Paul, and it is a long way to go. It is Talladega. You never know. We're still waiting for that big one. So Michael Budge doing a great job there in the 8 car, up 9 positions off his starting position, leading the pack at the moment. Dave Oliver in second, who's been up there most of the night. Daniel Beckinsale also up there in P3. Damon May up 16 spots on his starting position in P4, with Tim Weston rounding out your top 5. And guess who's in P6 there, Paul? Storman Norman out of New Zealand. We thought with the way that his pit strategy went, he might have got left behind there a little bit, but he's just there tucked up in front of JCW. So these two guys are two to actually really look out for tonight. They are teammates, Norman Clark and JCW, so they will be working together.
Yeah, they certainly will be, but they might have their work cut out, because there's actually a couple of cars in front of them. But obviously you've got Demetrios there at the front, but being a lap down. But P3's got Daniel Beckinsale there, and P5 I think it is, he's got Tim Weston. So there's 3 guys there that possibly be all running together as well. So they're going to definitely all work together to make it hard for Norman and JCW.
Oh, no one's going to give this one up. We've still got another pit stop to go through yet. But who's going to blink first is going to be the interesting part. Are they going to just sit there for the next 40 laps and make us wait? Or are they going to blink? Is somebody going to blink? But it looks like at the moment they're just being very gentlemanlike. They're just using the toe off Demetrius at the moment and just going around in circles and going, yep, okay, this is cool. We're just going to keep saving fuel and going. Because at the moment, they do seem to be pulling a little bit of a gap on the cars behind. It does look like the last lap around, Darren McKenzie did do a 49.6. Everyone up in front of them are doing 49.5. So it looks like that second train at the moment is just slightly dropping off the back. But as soon as these guys at the front start battling again, don't be surprised to see that change, as we just see Darren McKenzie and Tom Pritchard do a 49.3 as to a high 49.5 for the front guys. So that's as quick as it can change here, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to get too excited too quickly. I'm looking at timing. I'm looking at Darren on the screen. I'm looking at the tower. I'm looking at all the intervals going on as Tom Pritchard wants to now go, I don't want to sit behind Darren any longer. That's not going to help him catch in the front. But Tom Pritchard takes the front of the first battle pack at the moment. Andy Barber is there, and you're going to see Darren McKenzie possibly just drop down in front of Adam Malone at the moment, which he does. But they lost a little bit there, Paul. They really need to work together now to try and pull up on the front of that front pack.
Yeah, I dare say Darren's just doing the smart thing, knowing that he was stuck on the front of that pack. He doesn't want to burn all his fuel being in the front there, so I think he's just played smart, let someone else take over, and between all these guys, maybe even out their fuel there, and see if they can still keep working to catch back up.
Yeah, they're going to want to do that, but they did lose half a second that last lap just by Darren just putting himself out there and letting Tom take the lead of that pack. So every time they do that, as much as it does make sense with fuel, every time they do that, they're going to be losing at least half a second to the leaders, because these guys at the front are pushing, and they're pushing hard, and they're really working well together. So we'll just see how their laps go this time across. So it looks like that 49.4s are for the front guys at the moment. They've just done actually a 49.73, 49.72, 49.71. There we go, where the guys in 8th, 9th and 10th didn't move. We've got a 49.5, 49.4, 49.4, 49.4. So there's another 2.5 tenths. So these guys in that second pack really need to keep pushing and doing what they're doing to get onto the back of, I believe it is there, Tom Pritchard or Joshua Carroll-Walden. It's JCW actually. So these guys in the second pack doing a great job. We'll see how this really just evens itself out over the next couple of laps. See whether Tom Pritchard's happy to stay at the front and use that fuel to drag him up onto the back of JCW.
And 47 laps now as Michael Budge just goes across the line there. So this front pack here, we might see them starting to look at pit stops once again in maybe the next 5 to 10 laps.
Yeah, we're definitely coming into that window as well. But that second group, I know I keep looking at them, but they just pulled another 2/10 off the leader in that last lap. So I keep looking at them because it's a really exciting battle to see what this second group can do, because especially considering we're going to be coming up into the second pit stops and they are so staggered between everyone on different strategies. If these guys drag up onto the back of that front pack, it's going to be very interesting to see what these fuel strategies do as we go nearly halfway in to round 2 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series on the InSim Esports Network. But Paul, mate, what a race. You're just looking at it everywhere. They've just lost, I think, 1,000th that lap. So it looks like they might not have had as good lap as they did the lap before. The guys in front have stopped battling and they just took another 2/10 out of the chasers. So as much as I sit here and go, oh, look at them coming up to the front, the next lap they've lost 2/10. So that's how close it is. But it's really hard. There's only 5 of them in that pack as opposed to being approximately 9 or 8 in the front pack, and they're going too wide. So let's see whether these guys can tag up on the back. But that front group doing a great job at the moment. And driver of the night at the moment is Damon May in 69. He's up 16 positions off his starting position.
Yeah, this front pack's just grown in size with a few lap cars. So if they all link on the back of this front pack, then it's going to make things hard for that second pack. But if they don't manage to get around them, as they're getting a bit of a run on the outside there now, it could help that second pack to catch up again.
Yeah, the more they do this side-by-side action, the more it's going to give Tom Pritchard, Darren McKenzie, all those guys a chance to catch up. They did just take another 2.5 out of them in the last lap where these guys started to battle together. So it's definitely ebbing and flowing. These guys are going to be like racehorses in that second pack, whipping that car, wanting to just get in that tow. They just need to get under that second and they will get that tow on the cars in front. But it looks like at the moment they're really like ebbing and flowing and not really getting there. It is a big group at the front at the moment, and they've only 4 guys chasing them. So, and it looks like they've just taken another 3 or 4 tenths out of them. So any moment now we'll see that second pack jump up onto the back of the leading pack, and that is led by Tommy Pritchard at the moment. So he is a lot quicker than those guys in front. Doesn't look like it on the relative at the moment. You can see him slowly dragging up on the back there at the moment. We'll see what it does as they come across the line this time around as they go through 3 and 4. But it looks like, look at them drag him in as soon as they go too wide. Here we go. They've got up on the back, but now they've gone into 3 battle packs, and now it's going to become 2. So they've finally got a tow off someone, but now they're going to use the outside line. It looks like Andy Barber's trying to work with Tom Pritchard there on the outside to get the run around, but they can't let that front pack go as well either. So, but like I said, Paul, they are on different strategies. So I'm getting a little bit excited. We're only 51 in, but I love the strategy of stock car racing, and we don't know who's going to win it.
Yeah, and that's one that's actually scratching my head tonight. The amount of strategies that's actually playing out here. It's got our arms getting thrown up in the air and don't know who's going to do what tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think the people that are best placed for this race, though, at the moment are Norman Clark, Joshua Carroll-Walden. Who else? Maybe even Darren McKenzie. He's pretty well placed. He's fought himself back up into a good spot. Tommy Pritchard as well. Looking at the pit stops, Dave Oliver's actually been through pit lane 3 times. So on a fuel sense, he should be better than the rest of them, sitting there in P2. But in saying that, if he goes longer, he's going to be sat out there by himself. So he's going to lose a lot of time if he can go longer. The only other person that's done more than 1 pit stop who's really anyone inside the top 10 at the moment is Joshua Carroll-Walden. So he's going to be looking good on fuel. He's had 2 pit lanes at the moment. Stevie Dubb up 11 positions in P12's gone through 3 times. So from a fuel perspective, Paul, they're all looking really good. But whether they're willing to go out, and as we have number 8, Michael Budge, he does budge. And he comes into pit lane. Oh, who's gone in too hot? There has to be pit lane penalties there, Paul.
Definitely. It looked like Michael Budge there on the brake lock coming into pits, getting into the back of Demetrius there. And he slowed right down. Looks like a bit of damage on the front of his car there.
Well, let's just stay on Michael at the moment as he goes into pit lane very slowly into his box. Let's see if he sits there after his pit stop. It looks like he is definitely going down at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Yep, he's definitely got either a penalty or repairs. They do have fast repair, so he's definitely probably serving a 40-second hold, I'd suggest. But we'll go back to the front. Norman Clark has taken the lead of this race at the moment with Joshua Carroll-Walden in second. This is a familiar scene here, Paul, with these two leading. Stephen Williams there up into third at the moment as well. So, as I said, these three guys are doing great on fuel strategy, but not sure how that's going to play out in the back end, as we have seen Andy Barber, Tom Pritchard, all those guys come through pit lane. So they're not going to make it to the end, but neither are these guys when they pit as well. So do you think the big one or that late race caution is going to decide this one, Paul, or even do we do the commentator's curse and say green, white, checker?
Ooh, I definitely can't rule out a green, white checker at Talladega.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Definitely can't, especially with cars all in different spots and different positions on the track at the moment. They're trying to jockey for their position. So we're only 54 into 100, just over halfway. So anything can happen here on the IndySim Esports Network for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series. But big shout out, mate, and a big thank you to everyone from the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series, or the Full Throttle iRacing Leagues as a whole, and Steve Hoppett and Michael Shaw and everyone involved in it to allow us from IndySim Esports Network to get involved in it and to be able to bring you this great content here on a Friday night to all the viewers that are tuning in on Facebook, Twitch or YouTube, or any social media platform you choose to watch IndySim Esports Network. But Paul, how great is it to be involved in this? And it's very humbling. So thank you to everyone from Full Throttle, and I'm just excited to call the next 45 laps.
Yeah, definitely. It's great to be able to broadcast the Friday night Next Gen Series. One of the first leagues to actually have run a league for these Next Gen cars, I believe. But you know, if you're not able to make it on a Friday night, then they do have a Monday night IndyCar Oval Series and a Tuesday night Cup Car Series, along with a Thursday night Truck Series. And we're as we're currently running our Friday night Next Gen Series, and Sunday afternoon, I believe they've actually got a short track Next Gen Series that's just starting up as well. So if you want to get in and have a bit of a practice with the Next Gen cars, or even a bit of a run on the short tracks, then Sunday afternoon as well.
And you said about the Thursday night. The thing I like about Thursday night, Paul, too, with the Full Throttle iRacing Leagues is they've just recently, as of Thursday just gone, they do 2 races a night. So as opposed to it being, say, a 200, they'll do 200-mile races, and they'll break them up into 2 separate, which I think is really cool, because you don't have to worry so much about strategy, but you can, you know, if you have a bad one in the second one, you can come out and try and have a good one in the next one. So I thought that was a really good initiative, something different that you don't really see a lot on ovals. You do see a lot in different leagues, but especially with these type of cars or trucks. So I thought that was a really good initiative, and definitely creates a little bit of racecraft as well, with them being such short races and cars and trucks being so close to each other. But with 57 laps in here, Paul, for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series here on the IndySim Esports Network, we currently have Norman Clark leading the way again, as he has a lot of the times once these pit strategies have played out. Joshua Carroll-Walden, his teammate, there in second, Stephen Williams in third, Matty Hunter in fourth. So doing a great job at the front, but these guys are going to blink in the next 2 or 3 laps, I'd suggest, Paul, and we're going to see it all mix up again.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we've had a few drivers already do their second, possibly third pit stop. A second pit stop under green, anyway. And again, there's JCW there getting right into the back of Tristan Koch there.
Yeah, that was very close. Tristan's actually a lap down at the moment, so Norman's gone in the pits. So we'll see where Norman comes out. But JCW just needs to be really careful at the moment. I know Tristan's a lap down, but he doesn't need to give it up, because as soon as JCW comes in the pits, Tristan's going to get him again. So just need to err on the side of the caution at the moment and just cruise around, but we'll see if we can bring someone up into the booth and see if we can have a chat to him. We'll have a look and see whether there's someone there. Not looking like at the moment there's anyone really want to bring up at the moment, especially considering who's in this battle. Yeah, we might just let that roll on for a second, mate. We'll see how these pit stops roll out in the next couple of laps. We'll let them get settled and we'll see if we can bring some special content to you, the viewers on IndySim Esports Network, and have a chat to one of the drivers as they go around Talladega Superspeedway for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series here on a Friday night.
And JCW definitely wanted to get as much of a push as he can on Tristan there, and see if he can try and break a bit more time away from these this next pack that'll be coming for him before he does his pit stop.
Yeah, it looks like he's just trying to get a little bit on Norman at the moment and just trying to push. We don't know where Norman is. I'm just having a look at the relatives at the moment. He's way down at the moment. I know, he's showing third on relative at the moment, so I don't know whether iRacing's had a glitch here, because I didn't think all those cars were a lap down, but in saying that, a lot of other pit stops need to happen at the moment. So it looks like JCW is in a good spot when he does come into pit to be able to jump over Norman, as it looks like he's got no help with the cars going around the outside. Darren McKenzie's just followed around the outside as well, so not sure whether something happened in the pit stop there with Norman, but we'll find out when JCW comes into pit.
Yeah, this definitely looks like this could be our front pack here. But actually Shane Newen's up 27 spots. I'm not sure if he's actually taken his pit stop again yet, but when JCW comes into pit, he will actually be our effective race leader.
Yeah, not sure what's happened at the moment. Shane's actually done 2 stops, as has JCW, so you would probably think they're on a very similar pit strategy. The only thing is with Shane is he's 36 seconds down on JCW at the moment, so, and running alone. So yeah, he's probably going to be at the back, if not a lap down, when he comes into pit. JCW is going to want to pit very shortly. Looks like, here we go, Shane's into pit as I've just predicted. So JCW is going to want to pit pretty shortly too, because he's going to be losing a lot of time out there alone. Sorry, it looks like he's alone, but he's not actually. He's got Tristan Koch just on my relative, ladies and gentlemen. He's showing at P1, so I do apologise for that. So he's going to be wanting to work a lot with Tristan at the moment to just try and get as many laps out of this fuel as he can. We'll see where he comes out, as opposed to Norman Clark, Dave Oliver, all those guys at the end after his pit stop. But from looking at these relatives and the way that they're coming, it looks like at the moment he's probably going to come out just behind him, I'd suggest.
I've just got to throw this out there, a bit of food for thought here. If JCW was doing a bit of a smart thing, sitting back behind Norman there, saving a lot of fuel as much as he could, to see if he can just make one more pit stop. Whereas I think this other pack, they may still need to do another stop. So if JCW's played his cards right, he might be able to run this out a little bit longer and only need to stop one more time, and he's got a huge gap over the rest of the field if they need to take another stop.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Paul. That's what I'm seeing as well, looking at it. The guys behind definitely, and Tristan, and everyone sort of around JCW definitely have to pit again. He's getting into the frame in the next 10 laps. I'm not sure he can make 10 laps, though. He's going to have to make at least 10, or at least 6 or 7 from what we've seen with that first pit stop, because we're at 64 laps. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do here. Not sure whether he can go, if he can make it to the end on, no, there we go. There he is, he's blinked, and he's not going to be able to make it to the end there either. So he's going to have to pit one more time. Oh, did he get a penalty going through pit lane? That was very close.
Yeah, he had a bit of a lock up there as well, so hopefully he pulled that car up in time to not get a penalty there.
We're about to find out as we see him in his pit stall. He's taken left sides at the moment. We'll see that car drop down. Now he's taken right sides, I'd suggest. It's very surprised. No, he's just taken lefts. It's really surprising he took any tyres, to be honest, but he took lefts. So that was very interesting, and he didn't get a 40-second hold, so he must have slowed it down in time. But he's going to lose some to the leaders, I'd suggest, when they come around here, because he took tyres. I'm not sure whether I'm missing something. Yeah, he's definitely going to lose some to the leaders with how quick they're catching up at the moment. But that's only to Dave Oliver at the moment, who is running out there on his lonesome. So it's going to be the Dave Oliver and JCW show at the front.
Not necessarily. If JCW can get on the back of Shane Newens there, who was actually in P12, then they might be able to keep a bit of a gap there. But obviously you got Dave Oliver, Daniel Beckinsale, David May and Norman Clark there, and a couple of other cars laps down there on them. That'll be coming up pretty quick on JCW now.
Yeah, as we've said through the broadcast already, mate, these 6, 7, 8 cars behind, let's just focus on this group for the next couple of laps and look at the interval between Josh Carroll-Walden, Dave Oliver, those guys. Let's see how quick these guys can catch up to that front group and see, because no doubt they will by looking at what's going to happen and looking at the guys in front. But let's see how quick they close this down. It looks like at the moment you've got JCW swerving all over the track at the moment, trying not to let him get a draft, or they're not trying to let JCW get a draft, sorry. But these guys really need to work together and try and push up on that front group, as we nearly saw carnage there. But yeah, Paul, this is where we settle down for the next 10, 15 laps, and look who's up there as well. Sorry, that's not 09. That's not Darren McKenzie. My apologies. That is the 09 of 60, sorry, of Brian Bullock, who's one lap down. So these guys are definitely want to get in that single file and try and catch the front. But that gap at the front sort of just staying there at the moment. Beckinsale's slowly catching it. It's sort of just stagnated. So
we have a caution. I thought I'd just pick something.
Oh, there's the caution. So these guys on that alternate strategy with fuel, that's really going to help them out. It's going to be really good for Josh, because he's probably going to be able to top up now and go to the end, or at least very close to. But Paul, 67 laps into Talladega. Let's go back, see if we can get a replay on that one.
Yeah, not too sure what actually happened there. I can't go back. We might just have a look a little bit further back.
That was a 69 of Damon May. Looks like that Damon just didn't keep his line there in front of Sean McKenzie and just chopped across his nose, and Darren had nowhere to go. And in the fence, that was... Hopefully he hasn't used his fast repair and Damon can get that car back on the track, but that was a hard hit into the inside wall, Paul.
Definitely, and this is very interesting now. This has really helped JCW out, because he only just pitted, and he's actually choosing to come in for another splash again to be on the same strategy as everyone else. But he could have really hurt a few of these drivers for waiver rounds if a few of these other guys choose to stay out to get their lap back.
Yeah, definitely, but he did exactly what I thought he would do. He's going to be very close to the end, so he's just like, I'm just going to put a little bit of more fuel in it, try and make it to the end. Even if he can't quite make it to the end, I think he's in a position that if they do have another yellow, which now cautions breed cautions, as we know, Paul, in motorsports, so won't be surprised if we get another one, and then he might top up again and he'll be good to go to the end. But not good for some of those guys a lap down where that caution came out, because they were going to get their lap back when JCW pitted then. And, well, it looked like they were going to, and they didn't actually, so that's my fault. But
well, while we're under caution here, Aidan, why don't you bring JCW up here and see if we can have a bit of a chat with him?
Of course, mate. Of course, we'll bring JCW up. JCW, you got a copy?
Yep, loud and clear.
Mate, what a race. Not a sensational starting position, but you know as well as everyone else does that Talladega and super speedways, you can be anywhere. You're a little bit off kilter with the strategy, other guys around you. You're working with Norman there as well. That caution definitely fell at the right time for you. What do you think?
Yeah. Still a question mark over whether or not I'll be able to actually get to the end without peeing again. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, looking good at the moment. But yeah, still a long way to go.
A little bit of an interesting strategy there where you actually noticed you took left tyres in that pit stop as well before.
Yeah, man, yeah. I noticed that we only got one tyre change for the whole race tonight, so like, even though Talladega is, you know, very, very, very minimal in terms of tyre wear, basically decided to just split the tyres for tonight, and yeah, well, I found that handling the car of this next-gen car with it has been quite good, and yeah, with the limited fuel tank, it has resulted in faster pit stop times.
Yeah, well, mate, definitely doing a good job up there. Up 15 spots on your starting position, mate. Hopefully we can talk to you at the end in P1, 2 or 3. You've had a little bit of a hot rain of form at the moment, nice consistent form. So hopefully we can see you in the top 3 at the end.
Yep, cool. Cheers, guys.
No worries. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Right from the hot seat, JCW, Joshua Carroll-Walden here on the InterSim Esports Network, currently sitting there in first position when all these cars go around the pace car. But Paul, mate, a bit of an insight there from JCW. How good's that here on the InterSim Esports Network?
Yeah, it's great. But have a look at this, Aidan. Our picks here for the night when we first got into the broadcast, we had Andy Barber and Adam Malone in there, and they're currently sitting P4 and 5. But we also mentioned Norman Clark as well, who I mentioned there, and he's sitting in P2. And we did touch on JCW and Steve Williams. So quite a few of our picks that we mentioned earlier are all in the top 5 currently.
Yeah, they are, mate. And now you've just given the commentator's curse, so thanks for that, mate. But if we go back and look at our American friends as well, we got Sean Stamper in P10 and Derek Jacobs in P13. So don't be surprised that these two guys who love a super speedway mix it up a little bit coming into the back end of this race. But currently we have Australia off P1. When we come to the green, we've got New Zealand on the outside of the second row, Norman Clark in P2, another Australian P3 and 4. So Australia in the second row, third row is Australia as well. And then it goes down until in the 5th row, we see our first of the American contingent on the outside of the 5th row in P10. So looks like the lights are out on the safety car, Paul. If I'm corrected, it looks like they are. JCW is going to bring us to the green. It is on leader this time around. It is not on green. So the starter will be in JCW's hands as soon as the pace car comes off. It is in JCW's hands here on the InterSim Esports Network, Full Throttle Friday night, Next Gen Cup Series, round 2 here from Talladega Super Speedway. JCW, Josh Carroll-Walden, brings them to the green. It is a very, very long run down to the green flag, but he can go green at any time. He'll be counting down Norman Clark to try and get that run. So JCW looks like he's going to bring it all the way to the green. He wants to bunch up this field. I would have gone early, but that's just me. But JCW bringing it across very slowly at the moment as we are about to go green. Watch Stephen Williams on the inside of the second row, and we are green here for round 2 of the Full Throttle Friday night Next Gen Cup Series here on the InterSim Esports Network. JCW with a great start on the inside. Norman Clark going to want to draw. Oh, as Andy Barber's just gone straight down in front of Stephen Williams. And that's going to bring out another caution, I believe, ladies and gentlemen. Andy Barber just chopping the nose off Stephen Williams. Hopefully they haven't used their fast repair. I know what Andy was trying to do there, Paul. He was trying to just settle in position, but a little bit aggressive, I'd suggest.
Yeah, definitely. He was trying to look for that open gap on the inside line there, and unfortunately that closed up pretty quick on him.
Yeah, like I said, hopefully those guys have their fast repair. We will jump them up into the broadcast booth at some stage, I'd suggest, and have a chat with them, but that's not what Andy wanted. And like I said, Paul, you just put the commentator's curse on him, so I'll put that all on you.
Oh, thanks, mate. Just throwing me under the bus.
No worries, mate. No worries. But what a great race it's been, mate. We're 3/4 of the way through now at Talladega, the second round of the Next Gen Full Throttle Friday Night Cup Series. Mate, it's gone quick again. We did say on a thing we broadcast the other night how quick it went. And Talladega, it can usually go a little bit long, but it's just gone through at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and already we're in the final quarter of the race.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to help get these guys home now on without needing to pit, I think. This extra caution here, they might be able to do it now without needing to pit.
Yeah, as JCW said, he's not sure whether he's going to get through. I think what we're going to see now when he catches the pace car and they get the pit lane open, I think what we're going to see now, if JCW pits, we know he can't make it to the end, and you'd expect everyone at the front to follow him, because I'd be really surprised. The only one that I think that can make it to the end, and here's your call, Matty Hunter. He's been through pit lane 5 times, and he is sitting in P9. So
have a look at this though. We've got Stevie Williams down there, and he looks like he's going into the pits along with who's that 313 of Daniel Smith, and Daniel Smith's been a front runner here for a lot of the race tonight as well, but in the early stages. But obviously we got JCW, Norman Clark, Adam Malone, a few of the guys there at the front, all choosing to stay out. So they're feeling pretty confident, I think, on making this home, while these other guys that have just stopped, if there's another caution, or if these guys at the front here can't make it home, then they're going to be sitting pretty good after that pit stop again.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And we'll just move someone up into the broadcast booth at the moment. And I've just moved up one of our American friends, Derek Jacobs, mate. Aidan and Paul from the broadcast booth. Have you got a copy, mate?
I do got a copy. How are you? Good afternoon.
Good morning to you, mate, in your terms. But, mate, Super Speedway is your thing. American, coming off a P4 in round 1, mate, which I know you're really happy with, because sometimes you'll be the first to say to and admit that you're not the biggest fan of fixed setups. But we come to your niche track and Super Speedway again for round 2, and you haven't disappointed, mate. You got yourself up there. You're around there at the moment, giving it a good budge to be able to give this a crack at the end. How are you feeling? Can you go green to the end?
We can go green. We got enough fuel. We got fresh rubber. We got hopefully a good enough car. We just kind of had a little bit of case of bad luck there at the beginning of the race there, but hopefully we can finish strong here.
And Paul, you jump in. Anything you want to have a chat to Derek about before we let him go and concentrate for the next 27 laps of madness?
Well, we did mention that there's actually there was 4 US drivers here tonight. So you guys all teaming up together as well to try and show these Aussies how to oval race.
Yeah, so there's 3 of my teammates in the race: Sean Stamper and Jeff Ford. We're all running roughly the same paint scheme, so hopefully we can all finish pretty close together and have a good showing.
No worries, mate. Well, thanks for jumping on. And everyone here at the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series do appreciate you and all your American friends for jumping on and supporting the league. I know it's stupid o'clock in the morning there, probably on a Friday morning, so we do thank you. And from everyone here on the Indocem Esports Network, as we said last week as well, mate, we appreciate you coming around here, and hopefully we can all start supporting some of your American leagues and getting some of these Aussie faces over there and showing you guys how to race ovals.
Absolutely, yeah. Bring it on anytime. Look forward to racing with you guys, and absolutely look forward to Definitely speaking to you guys again here in about 20 minutes.
Hopefully we are, mate. But there we go, Derek Jacobs. We'll leave you go back up and concentrate with your teammate,
Yes.
Paul Jackson. Derek Jacobs, mate, at United States of America. We bring different content here on the InterSim Esports Network, different drivers. Mate, how good is that?
It's pretty good, and just got to touch on their paints here for these US drivers. I noticed on there the back wheels there, they've got a bit of an InterSim logo there. So got to give those guys a bit of a shout out there for throwing our logos on the car.
Yeah, definitely. Big shout out to those guys out of the United States of America. We didn't actually know that. I think Derek messaged me before the race and said he'd thrown our logo on the back, but I sort of had that much going on that I didn't really see that. So how great is that by American friends supporting us, Australian broadcasters, mates, and we didn't even ask them. So thank you guys. Big shout out to you guys to be able to support us. And everyone, if you are looking for leagues to be broadcasted anywhere, whether it be Australia, New Zealand, United States, depending on work schedules, all that type of stuff, we're more than happy to chat here on the InterSim Esports Network. We do everything from road, oval, dirt oval, anything you want. We customize all the overlays, everything to what you want as the league owner. So feel free. You can get us on Facebook at InterSim Esports Network, IN2SIM, or you can email us at IN2SIM Esports Network at gmail.com. But Paul, that's enough for self-promotion as we are nearly into the final 20 laps here at Talladega Super Speedway for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series. JCW, for something completely different, is about to take us to green. We have Adam Malone on the inside of that second row, rather, right behind JCW. Norman Clark there on the outside of the first row. So JCW is bringing them into green. Are we going to go green to the end, Paul? That is the question, as you can take us to green.
That's the big question there, Aidan. But JCW running this right out to the green light there. He doesn't want anyone to get a little bit of an extra toe on him. And we hit green, and JCW hits the gas, and we are off.
Yeah, JCW's been holding him up a lot going on green. He hasn't wanted to go on leader because I think he knows what super speedways are. You get that jump, they're just going to get that run and go there around the outside. So he's trying to balk them up a little bit and try and not let them get the run. Adam Malone doing a great jump on the inside of the second row, just getting right behind JCW at the moment. He's going to sit there and settle in. Norman Clark settling in there in third. Shane Newens, 25 spots up. He's always there. He's going to be there at the end here, Paul. Daniel Smith in P5. Matty Hunter's just dropped in front of him as well. Matty Hunter is one we need to watch out here, Paul. If there is, and Matty Hunter, ladies and gentlemen, is in the car 48, that black one on the inside, as they nearly touched. Oh, they are touching going down the back straight. He's one really to look out for. He's been through pit lane a lot more than anyone else, so he's carrying a lot more fuel. Looks like he's got a little bit of damage there on the back at the moment, but if this is a fuel race, it looks like Matty Hunter's definitely in the race for this one, but not sure he's got the pace at the moment, as it looks like those front guys have got a little bit of a gap. So it looks like JCW, Adam Malone, Norman Clark, Daniel Smith, who you see on the outside there. Oh, we're waiting for that big one, Paul.
Oh, yes, Andy Barber was looking to try and cut in there and follow Daniel Smith, but there just wasn't the gap there, obviously, with Matty Hunter still there, which
he's going to do it again.
Well.
Really need to watch Andy Barber here. Looks like he's doing it again. He needs to jump down now, right now. Yeah, looks like he was really trying. He's just not getting that car down on the inside line. He's got to get it down there. I know he's trying to keep in the draft of that green car, but now he's going to get stuck up in the middle, and you watch that bottom lane come right around the outside of him. You need to jump down in, and now's not the time to do it. You can see he's looking for it, and he wants to. He's trying to make that middle lane work, but he needs everyone to go with him. But that inside line at the moment are working really well together, as I see that mid lane just pushing up. But what's going to happen here, Paul? I'm about to get excited. We're only 77 into 100. They're making that second lane work, which is really, really good, which means the finish of this race is going to be great. But those first three or four at the moment, or first three rather, have got a nice little jump on this pack. This pack really needs to just settle in for 10 laps and catch those front, because if we're going green to the end, they need to catch these front guys. So who's going to be the one to talk to them and say, hey, boys, let's settle in and let's catch them? 8 cars in a train's way quicker than 3. But Doesn't look like they're willing to do that at the moment as Andy Barber goes in. It looks like Brian Bullock in the wars again.
Well, we didn't quite grab that as we went back, so just go back to that replay there.
Andy Barber again trying to get that inside line. After the winner out of Daytona, this has been a terrible night for Andy. He's got no more fast repairs. So, and who's he taken in the process? Michael Shaw. Yeah, hopefully Andy has a little bit to learn out of this one tonight. Unfortunately, he had a really quick car. I thought he was going to be up there at the end, but hopefully he can get that one fixed and we can see him back into the back end of the race. But we will pick him up into the broadcast booth at some stage and maybe have a chat to him. Not sure whether his mic is working tonight, but very unfortunate there for him. So he's still showing on the lead lap, but he's definitely going to have to pit for that. Is JCW going to pit for fuel now, Paul? Do you reckon he's good to the end? I believe these cautions are doing him a world of good at the moment.
Definitely. He was a little bit uncertain if he was going to make it to the end, but we've had an extra 2 cautions now that it's given him a lot of time, either clutching or shutting off the car to conserve fuel, and I dare say he'll be good to the end here.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Adam Malone, I believe, will be the same, if not very close. Norman Clark's on the same strategy as Adam. Daniel Smith and Daniel Beckinsale are in a good spot as well there in 4 and 5. What the guys behind can't do off this restart with only 20 to go, with the way that second pack didn't look like they wanted to work together as they go. JCW's flinched down pits, so they're not going to make it to the end. Matty Hunter will stay out for sure, unless he got caught up in that incident. Looking at my relative, no, Matty Hunter's in pit lane, so he must have got caught up in that incident at some point.
Have a look at this. Adam chose to stay out here, so wonder if Adam's just been, because he's been tucked in behind JCW there, and might have just been saving that little bit more fuel to JCW running at the front, so Adam could be the one that's good to go without needing to stop. But Daniel Smith actually sitting in P2 there actually pitted on the caution before for fuel, so Daniel will definitely be good to go here.
Yeah, looks like it. Who are we looking for here? So you asked the question about Adam Malone and his pits. We can go one better, mate, and we can just bring Adam Malone up into the broadcast booth. Adam, have you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Mate, strategy. Super Speedway is the name of the game tonight. How are you going for fuel, mate? Are you going to make it to the end?
Yeah, I'm going to make it. I was saying it's got 30 laps. Yeah, hopefully.
Is that 30 laps under caution or 30 laps under green?
It was under green just before it got to yellow. It said 30. So it should make it.
So now that you're sitting in P1 there, you're going to burn a little bit more fuel, so those numbers may drop. You didn't take the... you're obviously running the risk there of staying out to try and win this race.
Yeah, I thought I'd take the risk and stay out. Hope for the best.
Fingers crossed for you, it pans out.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
All right, guys, there's Adam Malone here on the InterSim Esports Network. We'll just move him back up into his race channel. Thank you, Adam, for your time there, mate, and hopefully we're talking to you at the end.
Yeah, hopefully. Cheers.
Well, mate, we've got another American up into the top 3 at the moment. We're under yellow. We might just give these guys a chance to have a chat on the broadcast. So, Paul, I've just moved up our American friend, Sean Stamper, currently sitting in P3 so far here on the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series on the InterSim Esports Network. Sean Stamper, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Mate, welcome to the Australian-New Zealand Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series at Talladega, mate. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
No worries, mate. Talladega, I know you guys, you're a teammate of Derek Jacobs and the likes, so very early morning on a Friday morning there in the United States of America. I know all the guys here of the series really appreciate you guys being a part of it. What dragged you across into the league, mate? And most of all, great job up 14 positions of your starting position in P3 at the moment.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. I couldn't hear it. I actually couldn't hear what you were saying there. I got to turn you up.
No, that's all right, mate. All I was saying is we appreciate you jumping on the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series. It's early morning of a Friday morning. Pretty much just asked what brought you to the series, and you're doing really great on your start of 14 positions up on your starting position.
Yeah, Derek kind of talked me into racing with you guys, and Shory, kind of friends with him. But yeah, it's great racing, man. Yeah, I can't ask for any better drivers than what's out here right now.
That's good to hear, mate. I actually know your name a lot from some official stuff, so good to see you out here, mate, and a familiar face running the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series. Paul, before we let him go, and we'll put him up to the thing, anything you want to have a chat to Sean about?
How you feeling? You awake at stupid o'clock in the morning, or you're a little bit tired, or how you feeling?
Yeah, I'm awake now. It's kind of wake you up here, being up here in the front.
Well, hopefully you don't fall asleep at the wheel there, and you can bring the car home in a podium spot.
Yeah, it'd be nice. That's what we're hoping for.
No worries, Sean. Thank you so much for your time, mate. We'll let you go back up to you guys and let you concentrate for the remaining 19 laps, mate. Wish you all the best. Hopefully talk to you at the end.
All right, thank you, guys.
And pace car is off, lights are out. We are ready to go green as Adam Malone sitting in P1 with Daniel Smith alongside of him, ready to go green.
Yep, we're about to go green, Paul. I'll let you just do that at the moment.
And Adam's got a big jump off that restart here. He's got a huge jump there on Daniel in the field. So this could hurt him here a little bit if they come in and decide to choose to go around him. But that was a really big jump there from Adam at the start.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting JCW to do in the last previous starts. What you're about to see here is Barber, Stamper, Smith, and Barber's doing a great job considering he was just caused in that melee, or just in that melee. They're going to drag right up on the back of Adam as that's happened straight away. So they've now sat in line astern at the moment out of Adam Malone P1, out of Andy Barber 2, Sean Stamper, who we just heard from out of the United States of America in P3, Daniel Smith 4, Dean Goofile in 5th, and Derek Jacobs, Sean Stamper's teammate in P6 at the moment. So the Americans are showing their muscle coming on into the back 18 laps of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series, Paul.
Definitely, and with Sean in P3 and Derek in P6, they're obviously Derek's going to want to try and jump up a couple more spots there to help push his teammate to a victory.
Yeah, he will, and I'm just really surprised at how Andy Barber's car's going at the moment. I thought he would have used his fast repair. He must have got bugger all damage because he's doing a great job there up into P2. JCW's put himself back there in 13th position at the moment, so not sure that was just when the caution came out as opposed to when he was in pit lane. So unfortunate there for JCW. It's also hurt Matty Hunter and Norman Clark. So those guys are going to be charging through the field as we're about to go 84th lap into 100. But Adam Malone, clean set of heels at the front at the moment. As we heard, ladies and gentlemen, he's pretty much good to go on fuel. He will use a little bit extra at the front here, but from what he's saying, it looks like he's good to just go green to the end. At the moment, it looks like Andy Barber and Sean Stamper and even Daniel Smith are sort of sitting in that box seat at the moment. But Derek Jacobs in that green car, watch out for him. He's really sitting there waiting to pounce, especially if these top 6 do make a break from the chase and pack.
So have a look at this. Norman's choosing to sit right up there in that high line. With he's got Matty Hunter there behind him pushing. Choosing to use the draft off that wall as well to try and make up a bit of spot there.
Yeah, different strategy. I'm sure that'll work down the back straight. Not so sure how it'll go down the front straight, as we see here. But as we see them drop in line. But yeah, good strategy on the outside. But he's going to stay up on the outside now, and Matty's just going to let him high and dry. Car's trying to go 3 wide under the yellow, which is really a big no-no. But Matty Hunter's just left him out high and dry at the moment with the 82 following him behind. So not sure what Norman's doing here. He's probably just trying to sit back there at the moment, get in behind, catch those cars in front and have a good run for the end.
Yeah, he might just be taking things a little bit easy and hoping for another caution up ahead to try and avoid that, possibly.
Yeah, most possibly, but these guys at the front are doing a great job. Adam Malone leading with a clean set of heels, as I've said 6 times in the broadcast, because that's my word for tonight, or phrase. Andy Barber second, Sean Stamper in third. So at the moment, it looks like the times between the top 6, 7 or 8 are pretty similar. We just look at the last lap. That second group is really dropping off at the moment now, so these top 5 or 6 are really... Well, Derek actually dropped off quite a bit in that last lap. Looks like he was 6/10 down, but those top 5 seem to be going. But then I say that and look at that freight train. As soon as I say something, they are all up on each other. So here we go, Paul. We have 14 laps to go, and the top 14 all on the lead lap. They're fighting for this win.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to be a matter of who wants to take that chance and pop out to that outside line, and who's going to go with them and work together to try and make the moves on these leaders at the front here.
Yeah, if I'm in the car, I'm not sure I'm willing to test it, to be honest. I'm just sitting there and probably trying to wait for the car behind me to make that move. If you want to test it now, now's the time, but there's a big risk that you go back 10 or 12 spots, and that's a long way to come back, especially if you've got no one working with you. So right now, I think track position is key. Andy Barber is in the best spot at the moment. If he sits here for the next 12 laps, on that last lap, as soon as Samper or Smith try and get that run on the outside, as we're trying to get that run on the outside now, we've got 4 or 5 cars trying to make that run. Not sure they're going to make that work. Looks like they've just dropped the 2 behind them, so not sure that's going to work. But there we go. They were the first to flinch to see if this outside's going to work. They really got to get close to that inside line and get that side draft at the moment to really get that going. But they're making it work slowly, so we'll see if they want to consistently, just persistently be up the top there and keep going around, see what that happens. But Adam Malone just holding that inside line at the moment, leading that front pack. I believe that was Matty Hunter that tried to make that outside move. No, number 19, Daniel Beckinsale. So, as I thought they were going to come in. So there we go. So the outside line wasn't working, so they were not too quick to jump in and go, I'm going to leave you by yourself. And then now they're trying to create an outside line again, so I can't keep up. The moment they try and go in, they want to create another second line. So, Paul, I don't know, is this second line going to work?
Oh, I don't know. That was very interesting there, because Daniel Beckinsale actually dropped back into that inside line, and he's got 2 of his cars, 2 teammates there behind him, so not too sure why he dropped back in, maybe to try and get a bit of a slingshot, a bit of a shake and bake there to help his team push a bit harder and get more of a run there. But at the moment, I just don't think they've got enough pace on that outside line to pull that off. They've actually fallen back.
Yeah, they have, and they weren't utilising the side draft enough. They were definitely up in that second lane. Oh no, there's going to be carnage here. I saw a car just go straight up. Was that Derek Jacobs up into the wall? He saved that, I think.
Definitely wasn't Derek. Not too sure who that was.
The 99 car, Derek Jacobs, is moving backwards at 1,000,000 miles an hour now. I'm sure I saw a green car fly up nearly into the wall. But anyway, we keep going, and it looks like Derek has been filed right back to the end of the lead of this race at the moment, or this lead lap of the race. So let's see how Derek can get back up to the front here. He might have got some damage, though, with how quick he is moving backwards, whether he can stay on the back of this train. But it looks of it, he's struggling at the moment, but he's in there behind Stevie Williams, so there is worse company to be kept. But we'll see how he goes. But, Paul, we're under 10 laps now of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series here from Talladega Motor Speedway, and Adam Malone is leading the way with round 1 winner Andy Barber second, and Sean Stamper out of the United States of America P3. We might have to settle it down because I'm starting to talk really quickly, and I've got a feeling I'm going to get really excited in the final 10 laps.
Yeah, with 10 to go, so we obviously had our money on a few guys at the start of the race, and who do you think now with 10 to go? Who do you think is going to take the win?
can I buy a lottery ticket? Because I think I'll have more chance of winning. I'm going to go a complete outsider, not an outsider because of talent or experience, just purely from what we've seen in the race. I'm going to go Sean Stamper, car number 3 in 3rd place.
That's definitely a pick that we hadn't chosen, but we have talked to Sean on the broadcast earlier. But I don't think lottery tickets and that. Yeah, well, if you don't live in Victoria, then there's an unclaimed $80 million lotto ticket.
Sorry, but it got claimed today, mate. So.
Oh, I didn't hear that. So I did hear it was unclaimed. They didn't know who it was. So
well, it definitely wasn't me. So
yeah, and I'm over the border, so I just missed out on that one too. But your pick of car number 3 with Sean Stamper, our US driver, and I'm actually going to have to go with maybe Daniel Smith back there in P4 behind him.
Oh. Daniel Smith, he's going with Daniel Smith. So Daniel actually started off pole, so he's done a great job to position his car up there on 4th position at the moment. So that's a really good pick there, mate. He's obviously got a quick car under him. Whether he is able to position his car in a good spot in the next 7 laps to be able to fight for the lead. So, but Adam Malone doing a great job at the front. I don't know whether we're concerned on fuel with him and how much he's using, but from what he told us previously before we went green, it looked like he was good to go. So who's going to be the first to flinch? It looks like at the moment, 93 into 100, these top 6 are pretty much the ones that are going to go for it. They are trying to create that outside lane at the moment. If they don't try it, they're really not going to know. They do have a lot of cars up there at the moment helping them, so if they can really push. So let's see if this outside line can really try and get to that front group and try and make it too wide here at Talladega Super Speedway. Just really looks like that outside line doesn't want to work, Paul, does it? But they're going to have to try something because there's no other options for them at the moment. They really need to down this back straight. They need to get as close to the cars on the inside and use that side draft and really pull up on the side. We see Darren McKenzie there. I thought he'd lost a bit, but a car had just blunk. There's another word I just made up. Blinked. So yeah, they really need to get that side draft. It looks like they are. They're about to go 3 wide with the lap car. Hopefully he's really gentleman-like and just holds it up on the outside there with it looks like he will. So they're definitely not using that side draft as well as they should. They really need to start using it now. The 60 car there of Brian Bullock really needs to bring that car down. Use all that side draft closer to Darren McKenzie. Closer. I know that's very risky, but that's the only way you're going to get side draft. See how much they're losing. They need to drop down the bottom now and get that run again. So if they stay up there, they're just going to get left behind.
Yeah, getting a little bit loose there in the back of that draft there as well. So that's definitely not going to help them. Darren McKenzie right inside the number 1 there. So that was lucky nothing come out of that one there. I think is the number 1 of Jason Holdsworth might just be having a bit of a dropout on his connection.
Yeah, I believe he would be having a dropout because most times if you're a half a car up inside the other car, you're in the wall. So, yeah, that was interesting to watch. But these top 5 runners at the moment are doing a great job. They're slowly getting in front of that pack behind them. So they need to stop doing that too wide and try and pull up on that front pack again and then have another run as we've got 5 laps to go for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series here on the Indosim Esports Network. Paul, how good is this? Adam Malone leading with 5 laps to go. Andy Barber, winner around 1, P2. Sean Stamper out of the United States following closely in P3. Looks like that outside line is trying to get that run again. They're a little bit closer trying to grab that side draft. Exactly what I said. Oh, as we got cars moving around. They're really trying to make that outside work. I'm not sure whether they're going to be able to, but this is their pretty much last shot to be able to make that move. They need to come down as close to that inside line as they can. It's all in Brian Bullock's hands at the moment. He leads that outside road. He needs to come down. He's doing it now as close as he can. Get that side draft closer. See how now it's not making as much of a difference. So that outside line is starting to get that run, Paul. As 19. Oh, there we go. There's the accident. It hasn't brought in there. It'll be our yellow flag.
He is off the track there, so I don't think that's going to bring out a yellow.
Oh, it hasn't brought out the caution yet. very unfortunate for Brian there. He had that run on the outside going well. They were going to take it to the front of the race, but Adam Malone's going, thank you, I'll keep going in the 4 Monster Energy. Adam Malone there in second, Sean Stamper in third. There is going to be 3 laps to go this time around, Paul. How good is this? Is your pick still Daniel out of P4?
Oh, we can't change your pick now, and this late, you know. It's going to be a matter of hope for the best for Daniel, see if he can pull this one off. Obviously, if I was in that car driving, I'd fall back a little bit myself, and then let the draft suck me right back in, and try and take it round the outside on the last corner.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. You're definitely going to need to get that run. Andy is definitely in the best spot to win this race at the moment, though. He is really in that right spot as we go through 3 and 4 this time round. We're going to, this time past the line, we're going to go 2 to go. Sean Stamper in third. He's in a great spot as well. We can call anyone, but what a drive by Adam Malone at the moment in P1 coming off the restart. He's not been headed at the front. He hasn't been afraid to lead, so he's going to be very disappointed if, with 2 laps to go this time across the strike, if he doesn't convert this one into a victory. He's definitely going to make that Monster Energy Mustang as wide as he can. As we see, we're going 2 wide behind as well. So 2 laps to go here on the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series, brought to you here on the InSim Esports Network. And we are 2 wide at Talladega Motor Speedway with 2 to go. We currently have on the outside there, I'm not sure who that is.
Have a look at this. Here we go.
Oh, Andy Barber has been left behind on the middle. The outside run gets the run. Sean Stamper trying to push Adam Malone on the inside. 3-1-3 there. Daniel Smith as well. Outside line's got a great run, but you watch Sean Stamper here push Adam Malone to the front. We are going to go 2 wide, side by side, for the second round of the full. There's the.
Oh, no.
Sean Stamper's stayed out of it. Adam Malone is out of the race. Looks like we are going green. There is no yellow. So it looks like at the moment, Daniel Beckinsale has taken the lead of this race. Andy Barber looks like he is still in P2. No, it's not. It hasn't. It's got to. It's not catching up as quick as I want to call it, Paul. I do apologise.
No, there is lap cars, I think, in that mix there that might have caused that.
Well, Daniel Beckinsale now, as we're last lap of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series in the car 19, is currently leading it. Andy Barber is P2, which has 2 cars in between him and Daniel. So if Daniel just keeps it clean here for the final corner, he is going to take out round 2 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series on InSim Esports Network. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner for round 2 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series is car 19, Daniel Beckinsale. Second position, Andy Barber by the looks of it, and rounding out the top 3 with a great save will be Sean Stamper out of the United States of America, as a couple of the guys get a little bit of how you're going after the checkered flag has come out, Paul. But that 100 laps, how quick did that go? And Beckinsale, he wasn't on our radar all night, and he's got up in the lead.
He started from P3, and he's found his way onto P1 for the win. But that was a huge push on that outside line from him, with Dave Oliver in front of him actually there. And not too sure. I think Andy Barber there got a little bit keen on trying to pop out in front of them to get the push, and they weren't having any of that, and drove straight around into that third line on the high side. And that really hurt Andy Barber, but he didn't drop too far back because everything else that unfolded. Adam Malone getting taken out off the track, and Sean as well in P2 or P3 there. He's actually come home in P3, but I'm not too sure. He dropped right out of that as well. So might go to a quick replay at the end of that just to see what actually unfolded on that and how that occurred.
Most definitely, let's do that. We've got the guys in the booth ready to go whenever we go, but we'll just go back and have a look at that replay. It looked like Sean just tagged the back of Adam. Not sure what happened to Adam there, and unfortunately, I believe that was Daniel Smith on the inside there, who was one of your calls, had nowhere to go and got into the back of Adam. So Adam's not going to be very happy with that result at all after leading those last 20 laps and put his car in a great position to win that race. But hey, that's super speedway racing, Paul, and that's why we love it.
Yeah, definitely. And just got a few guys going a bit ham on the track now, so that one may get looked at as well. Obviously not the race winner only out there to celebrate, but everyone going a bit cut sick.
Yeah, that'll definitely be looked at after the race by all the race officials, but that's not for us to comment on, Paul. But we will move on as we see Daniel Beckinsale at the moment doing a great job doing his 6 skids as the winner of round 2 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series here on the Indysim Esports Network. But mate, we've got the drivers up in the broadcast booth. We might go across to the podium getters at the moment. And Sean Stamper, P3 for round 2 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series here on the Indysim Esports Network out of the United States of America. First time out, I believe. I'm not sure whether you're out in round 1. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if it is your first time out, podium first time out, mate, you can't complain with that one.
No, it was a good run. This is actually, I've ridden these guys before. This is the first time in the next gen running with them. But yeah, it was. I didn't expect the Ford to pit there. I was caught up in the moment and didn't realize he was pitting. It about turned real bad, but I am proud of the 3rd place finish.
So Adam Malone was going into the pits there?
Yes, he's out of gas. I believe he's running low on fuel. The 4.
Okay, that explains it. We thought he might have, but Paul, have a little bit of a chat to Sean before we go through all the official stuff.
Yeah, we did see you almost get into the back of Adam there as you checked up a little bit, and Daniel behind him actually got right into him, turned him around. So I was wondering on what actually happened to yourself there as well, checking up. But as you said, obviously Adam just ran out of gas there. Couldn't make the 30 lap range that he had sitting out the front there last for the 20 laps.
Yeah, I was just looking at the replay. I don't think I got into him, but it was. I had to check up so much. I just fell behind so much, and this is still a good podium finish. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, and that's good stuff. Being the only US driver on the podium there, but I'm sure all the guys will be happy for you.
Oh yeah, they was expecting to do a little better, but there's always next time, you know. And racing with these guys is the best guys you can race with. The hardest competition. They got stiff competition for sure.
And just to exaggerate a little bit on that, if you don't mind, Sean, you do a lot of American stuff, obviously, being an American, being in a different time zone to us. We do a lot of stock car racing. We're not necessarily renowned here in Australia and New Zealand for our stock car racing, but you did make reference to the quality of the racing and the quality of the drivers. How does that stack up as compared to some of the American leagues you may do? We know some of the biggest leagues in the world are run out of America when it comes to stock car racing. So how does this shape up as opposed to what you do in the American side of things?
Oh man, these guys are just way better at just, in my opinion. As I run NASCAR, the A cars for these guys, and I think when I run 3 or 4 races, we didn't have 1 caution. And I brag on them all the time. Up to this other league that I'm in, we have like so many cautions, it's not even funny, you know. Yeah, these guys, man, they're unreal. The talent, they're really talented. They're a good group of guys to race with.
I'm sure they'd love to hear that, mate. And from us at the Indysim Esports Network and everyone at the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series, we thank you for getting a part of it. And we hope that we'll see you as a regular face here on a Friday morning, your time. But, mate, great job, P3. We'll give you a chance to have a big shout out to all your sponsors. Anyone you want to thank, your time in the limelight for P3 of round 2 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series.
BSR race team, Derek Jacobs and Jeffrey Ford, my teammates. And yeah, I've been looking forward to the next one.
No worries, Sean. Well, thank you so much again for being a part of it. Go back, have a couple of glasses of those champagne, mate, and celebrate your P3. Good to see you out here, and look forward to seeing you next Friday morning, Friday night, our time.
All right, thank you, sir.
No worries. There we go, Paul. Sean Stamper out of the United States of America here on the Indysim Esports Network. But without further ado, we've got to move up into Andy Barber, P2 here. Andy, mate, P2, couple of incidents, would have used fast repair. I must say I did write you off after that last incident, but mate, great job after winning round 1 at Daytona and now P2. So finishing first and second in the first super speedways of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series, mate. You've got to be happy with that.
Oh, most certainly, and just a little bit dirty on myself for that incident earlier. I wasn't clear when I pulled down, so totally my fault. I haven't looked at the replay yet, but I do apologise for that driver and the incident. Certainly want to race hard, but want to race clean too. So.
Yeah, it did look like you were struggling to find a bit of an opening, or when there was an opening there, that closed up pretty quick on you when you're trying to get in.
Yeah, mate, yeah, I'm still learning the whole pack racing mentality and when to pull the trigger and when not to, and I think on this one I was a little bit, I jumped the gun a little bit too early, but yeah, basically just trying to be in the centre lane with people up high and up low, and yeah, it was pretty full on, but yeah, no, happy with P2 for that one.
Well, mate, that first incident you have, did you use your fast repair on that? Because you had 2 pretty big incidents and you only got 1 fast repair. So you still had some good pace in that car coming onto the back end of the race. So did you not use your fast repair on the first one? Did you use it in the second one?
I only really had 1 major incident. Didn't put a scratch on it before then, and that one where I pulled down on the inside line into turn 1 there, I used my fast repair for that. And then I pretty much had pace the rest of the time.
Well, mate, you've been doing a great job in the last couple of weeks in ovals. I've personally had a couple of good runs against you, and mate, you've come leaps and bounds in ovals. We say this a lot on the broadcast and everything we do through streaming. People think it's easy just turning left, but it's a lot more goes along with it. Otherwise, everyone would do it. But great job tonight, mate, on a P2. And before we let you go, anyone you want to shout out to? Obviously, number 1 crew chief, your wife has to be a big shout out, mate. But any shout outs before we let you go?
Oh, absolutely, of course. Kylie, Ryan, Team Barber behind me. Extreme Karting at Pimpama, and Intersim Sports for putting this on. Obviously, Full Throttle as well for the whole series, and the amount of time and effort that all of you guys do to put this all together is amazing. So congratulations, everyone.
No worries, mate. Our pleasure broadcasting it, but everyone at Full Throttle sim racing leagues are all behind this. We are just the voices and the cameras, but from us and everyone, mate, congratulations on your P2.
No worries, and well done to Daniel too. Good job, mate.
Cheers, Andy.
No worries, Paul. There's Andy Barber, second place of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series here on the Intersim Esports Network. But without further ado, we will bring the man of the moment, Daniel Birkinsale. Daniel, mate, P1. Did you see that coming with 2 laps to go?
With 2 laps to go, no. We were trying to line up and make the outside line work, but in these next-gen cars, it's a bit hard. And unfortunately, you know, we were sort of hanging back there and trying to regather and regroup lap after lap, but eventually we sort of made it work. So, yeah, good result.
Yeah, we did see you on the outside there. You had the number 60 car of Brian Bullock in front of you guys, and it didn't look like you'd quite push him there, and had a bit of a little whoopsie there as well, trying to push him up the grid. But one of the things I noticed, you actually chose to duck into the inside line there and left you guys out high, and then pop back out, almost getting into him. So what was the story behind that one?
Yeah, well, firstly, an apology to Brian. He's actually a teammate, so he was shouting at me, push, push, and I could see he wasn't going well, so I was trying to lift and get off him, and unfortunately we got the overlap with how it happens on super speedways. But, you know, yeah, the guys, sometimes when you've got multiple of you in the Discord, I heard it as go low, so I was trying to just move back in, and they were all actually then yelling at me to get back high, so that's why I moved in and out at the end there. And also, I think it was, who was it, number 1, Jason Holsworth, just made a bit of contact with him after that whole Brian incident. So unfortunate with that one, and I'm sorry to Jason for the contact. It's not what you want to see, but, you know, when there's 3 laps to go at Talladega, you go like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, everything's off the table. There's no holding back then, and obviously you guys done a great job there, pushing straight through, and obviously yourself there as well, pushing a lapped car of Dave Oliver there as well, all the way through, so you could come through as well.
Yeah, no, Dave got in front of me, and I just decided, well, the best place to stay is probably in the suck, and just try to sit with him and see how we go. So it worked out in the end, and good to get a victory, and hopefully we can keep it rolling throughout the rest of the season.
And speaking of the rest of the season, how are you feeling going into next week? We've got the super speedways out of the road, and now we're back into, I believe, a 1.5 mile next week. So how are you feeling going into that one?
Yeah, 1.5 miles are a completely different ball game. Especially in these cars, the super speedways have probably been tough because the aero on these doesn't work like the first gen or second gen cars. So it's a lot tougher to actually make that pass on the super speedway. You've almost got to wait for the wreck. Trying to save the tyres on the 1.5 miles is going to be an interesting endeavour, and it'll be a case of now management, won't it? So we'll see how we go.
And we're at Michigan next week. Have you done a lot around Michigan in the next gen car?
No, not much at all. Done a bit of trucks, but not much in the next gen. So we'll jump in the practice when the server opens next week, and give her a bell.
As they say, just send it. But Daniel, a great job there on P1, mate. Before we let you go, anyone you want to shout out to, sponsors, anyone involved in your iRacing career, mate?
Just got to, shout out to all the boys in the bin chicane team. It was a team effort tonight. You probably saw from the first pit stop strategy, we sort of tried to run together, just trying to play for clear air. So massive thanks to them. South Gundagai Automotive and Tim, who's on the road, who always tunes in to look after us and see how we're going. Hovey, who couldn't jump in tonight, he was spotting for a few of the guys as well, and just everyone in the bin chicane team. It's all about racing together and having some fun, and we throw around a hell heap of if you likes and get going. So it's great.
Now, it's good to see a bunch of you boys in there having some fun and having some great results in the process, mate. So from us again, as we've said to Andy and also Sean previously, from us into Sim and everyone at the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series, mate, congratulations on, I believe, is your first P1 in this series, and there's 6 rounds to go, so a nice solid start.
It's a good start to the season. And yeah, massive thanks to you guys for broadcasting, and Shori and Hobbit and the guys at Full Throttle for keeping this league going. I know it had a bit of a tough time, but, it should be supported. It's a great bunch of guys and really clean, hard, fair racing. When you come to the final laps, there's a bit of bump and grind, but everyone's racing for the victory at that time. So hopefully no one feels too bad about it. Usually sometimes you're on the receiving end, sometimes you make it through, and that's how it goes on super speedways.
Yeah, and that's a good attitude to have, mate. And like you said, it is sim racing. It's not like the real world. We don't have to go spend hundreds of thousands of dollars afterwards. So if you have a bad one, you just turn your computer on next time, have another go. But, mate, great job on P1. So hopefully you can back that up at Michigan next week. We look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you. No doubt Andy's the form man, so we'll have to keep an eye on him.
No doubt you will. But, Paul, there we go. There's our top 3 place getters at round 2 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series here on the InterSim Esports Network, mate. We were broadcasting on on Sunday night, and we commented how quick that went around somewhere we thought that would have taken longer. And it seems like tonight's gone as in a blink of an eye as well.
Yeah, blink and it's gone, or you sit back and relax on a Friday night and go racing, or tune in with us as we're broadcasting, and matter of no time we're race over already. So we look to Michigan next week, as was mentioned, for 125 laps. So sounds like a couple of, obviously Daniel mentioned he hasn't done a lot of laps around Michigan, so there could be a few other guys in the same boat in these next gen cars that might need to get a bit of a feel for the track.
Yeah, most definitely. I think we might have to go do a couple of laps ourselves during the week, Paul, and get a bit of insider's knowledge. We might even be able to record a lap and do a lap before they come out, but we'll see what we can do during the week, mate. But round 2 done and dusted here on the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series. There's your winner, Daniel Beckinsale. Before we wrap it up, mate, we might have to quickly just go through the overall or the standings for tonight. We're not going to go through the unofficial results for the championship tonight, ladies and gentlemen, just because we need to apply some of these penalties. So we don't want to give you a false sense of where the guys are. But tonight for round 2 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series, we had Daniel Beckinsale taking out the win with Andy Barber second place, who's now got a first and second in the first 2 rounds of the series, which no doubt will be leading it. Sean Stamper from the United States taking out the third place on the podium with Dean Guilfoyle in fourth, Jason Holdsworth fifth, Daniel Smith in 6th, Norman Clark out of New Zealand 7th, Matty Hunter, New Zealand in 8th, Jeffrey Ford 9th, and rounding out your top 10 is Joshua Carroll Walden. Derek Jacobs in 11th out of the United States of America, Stephen Williams in 12th, Michael Budge 13th, Dave Oliver 14th, Tim Weston 15th, Darren McKenzie, unfortunate light night with 16th, Brian Bullock, who was up there for the win in the last couple of laps, unfortunate with the 17th, and Michael Shaw caught up in a late incident as well down there in 18th, Paul.
And over the page we go to P19 with Shane Newens, Tristan Koch rounding out the top 20. With Adam Malone, unfortunate end of a race for Adam from looking strong in P1 there to take the win, coming in P21 with Damon May P22, Tony Vesselis in P23. In 24th we got Lachlan Hewitt, who I believe was a first-time runner for tonight as well. After getting his license up, so it was his debut race, I believe. And 25th, Neil McKenzie. 26th, Graham Ellis. 27th, Demetrius Agathos. Another bit of a unlucky story to his race tonight as well, as he was up the front at one point in the early stages. And Tom Pritchard rounding out the 28th spot.
And how good was that, Paul? Everyone down to 13th on the lead lap, and at Talladega, that's no mean feat, just considering when cautions fall and all that type of stuff. So great showing by all the drivers here at the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series here on the IndySim Esports Network. But, mate, as we previously said, we do go to Michigan next Friday night, same time, same place here on the IndySim Esports Network for round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series. So we're looking forward to bringing that one to you live here from 7:45 p.m. next Friday night. But moving forward to Sunday night, Paul, we do bring across, we go back supercar racing, and we're back on ovals for the Australasian Supercar E-Series here on the IndySim Esports Network on Sunday night. How good is it to come back on ovals in the supercars? Usually they're not built for that, but they create amazing racing on ovals. We come off the back of a road race at Oran Park last Sunday night with young Hayden Sell coming away with a start-to-finish victory on his first night out. So what do you think the field's going to bring to the table this Sunday night?
Well, we're at Kansas Speedway, I think, on Sunday night. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, we've got a few guys there that have had pretty good results in the first few races. Justin Witcher being up there as one of them. So he's going to definitely be looking to follow up and have a good promising race as well. But yeah, looking forward to going back to the ovals again. I do like the oval racing as much as road changes up a little bit.
Yeah, the road racing in those supercars are amazing. We both come from a road racing type thing, and we love ovals more. I don't know why, but that's what we do, and we love bringing it to you. We'll bring anything to you on the IndySim Esports Network. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I said previously in the broadcast, as we are about to wrap up our broadcast of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series Round 2 here from Talladega, if you are after any broadcasting or any type of media stuff like that for your sim racing leagues, give us a big shout out at IndySim Esports Network, IN2SIM Esports Network on Facebook. You can find us on Twitch. You can find us on YouTube. You can also email us at IN2SIM, IN2SIM Esports Network at gmail.com. or private message myself or Paul, who you can find us through our socials, and we'll be able to talk to you to be able to bring you whatever you need for your league from a broadcast perspective. But Paul, mate, one final word from you before I bring this broadcast to an end, before we try and get some sleep and get some hydration before we go and call 100-odd laps of supercar racing on Sunday night.
Well, we saw Daniel Beckinsale take the win there, so I think we're going to have to call him the Magic Man, because he pulled off a shake and bake there.
Yeah, so we got Andy Barber, the Flyer, which is no longer relevant, but that's stuck now. We've got Daniel Beckinsale now with the Magic Man, so we'll have to start calling Sean Stamper Envelope. We'll have to call him something. We've got to come up with names for him. But anyway, great job there by the Flyer, and great job there also by Daniel. So, Paul, thank you again for joining me in the booth tonight, Friday night, second round of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series. What a race it has been from Talladega Super Speedway. Another sensational showing by all the drivers. But Paul, thanks for joining me tonight, mates. And from me and everyone else at the InterSim Esports Network, everyone tuning in on all our socials, whether it be through Facebook, Twitch, or on YouTube, we thank you for tuning in. Make sure to give us a like, follow, and subscribe. And we will see you on Sunday night from 7:45 p.m. Eastern for the Australasian Supercar E-Series right here on the InterSim Esports Network. We wish you a good night.